Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sea of Swords Forsaken. How's everyone doing on this delightful evening for us, but morning or afternoon for you potentially? And if so, thank you for joining us. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I am Chris, and I will be your dungeon master for this evening. We're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/DND and twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. So, Dungeons and Dragons, if by this point you don't know what we are doing or how we are doing it, we are currently in the very final episodes, 2 to go, of this current campaign, so there's going to be a lot of big stuff flying around. So if you're not 100% aware of D&D, do join us for the ride, but we're going to be running through a lot of rules very, very quickly because of the nature of the game, yes. Anyway, D&D is played with 20-sided dice. Here is one. I'll talk more about this one in a minute, but a 20-sided dice with 20 numbers on it. Anything 1 and below is usually quite bad, 20 and above is usually quite good, and the players have character sheets let them add numbers to that 20-sided dice roll to see how well they achieve things, and that is how we tell our tale. So, the players all play individual characters. I play everyone else. But let's meet the individual characters before we dive too deep into the end game. Someone raise a shaking finger. There we go. Who would like to... Oh, it's an Avengers reference. I mean, seriously.
Just tell Iron Man that this is the only way and get on with your life.
Yep. Would have been a much better film if Doctor Strange were British and been, I'll just do it. Come on. Spoilers for Endgame.
No, stop pushing it back.
I don't plan to watch it, honest.
Anywho, let's meet all of the players and let us start with Niall. Niall, tell us all about what you have been up to in character, how things are going for you. That'd be good.
So, my name's Niall. I use he, him, and I play Anton Rain, who also uses he, him, and Anton is a little bit kind of worried about this giant Leviathan that's right in front of him. But you know, he's also worried about that potential future / past version of themselves that's a mummy and got no eyes. So it's kind of like, you know, Leviathan, potential future or past. Well, you know, you've got no good choices, so you can only take bad ones.
Good philosophy. Why not? Sure. Red. Hello.
Hi, I'm Red. I play Milk. Milk is along for the ride in which he's pretty sure, Anton is going to die one way or another. And is hoping to avoid that eventuality or just leave slightly earlier than it happens. Quietly in the background, Milk has been establishing a collection of very friendly, very supportive members to impart wisdom to on a Pacific island at some point in the not too distant future, hopefully with a bar, and if Prosperous will come with Prosperous. And gradually from there take over the world. It's not a cult, it's a family of like-minded individuals finding freedom in their own lifetimes.
I mean, if you refer to it as a cult, you also get tax benefits. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's a cult. It's definitely a cult. We have pamphlets. Would you like a pamphlet? We have pamphlets.
Yeah, but what's on the pamphlets? Your message is currently very vague.
Milk's face, isn't it?
Join us and become skimmed.
I want you.
Got to shave your head first. It's got our Instagram account on it. It's got details of the discounts you can get at various local eateries.
I mean, you would definitely head up a cult that doesn't have a website but does have a very well followed Instagram. Definitely.
That's it. It's all about being seen.
Perfect. G.
Hello, I'm Nate. I use he, him pronouns, and I am played by G, who also uses he, him pronouns.
Cute.
Right now, we're on this boat, right, the Bluebottle, and me new mate, Anton, he's got this, like, mummy thing, doppelganger type thing from the future or the past. I'm not really sure. It's all very confusing, frankly. But right now we're a bit preoccupied with this Leviathan. And I was about to, like, blow a pirate ship into a storm, which was going to be really cool. Yeah. But then like, this doppelganger Larian blew it up instead. So not really sure what I'm about to do, because the Leviathan's just kind of vanished, so...
Thank you very much, G/Nate. Very much appreciated. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm gender fluid, so I'll define my pronouns if someone needs to use them. I'm playing Prosperous, who is a half-orc paladin of the farming goddess Chontair. Prosperous uses the pronouns P or Prosperous, and Prosperous is currently not on the ship because Prosperous flew at the Leviathan on Beelzebub, Milk's fly, which then died.
It's a horse-sized fly, just to be clear.
Really quickly. In a jet of water. I then caught the stone, which the fly becomes, and put it in my mouth. So currently, I'm swimming around in the water, throwing my sword at followers of the Leviathan with a fly in my mouth. That is how it's going.
Yeah, that happened. Good. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You're going to want that fly back, aren't you, Milk? That's,
I'm maybe after it's wiped or something.
Prosperous doesn't have pockets. It wasn't just like I put it in my mouth because I panicked.
Fine. Not a single pocket, Prosperous. No. Where do you put your car keys?
You don't have a car.
With elk.
Yeah. Obvious.
and
Where's Eloise gone?
Eloise lives in a pocket dimension. That's a different thing. It's not pockets. And Sharmony.
Yeah, my name's Sharmony. Hi. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Captain Cal Arnold, also she, her. So Cal used to be a cleric adventurer, and sort of was thinking she traded all in for the really safe job of captaining a smuggling ship. And has been dragged back into all sorts of shenanigans, and is currently really torn by the fact that all these shenanigans are definitely putting her ship and her crew in danger, but they're also helping out Anton, which seems maybe important. I don't know, whatever. She doesn't care, but would be nice.
I mean, you and your god have finally reached a point of catharsis. It's very important. They've got lovely scene.
It's nice, but my god also said, unfortunately, that ultimately, in order to save the world, Anton might have to die. And Cal is keeping that very quiet and pretending that's not a thing that she might have to deal with.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Tom was all like, please pray for me, and he looked so sad, and that was the response. I prayed, and then it was like, no, and I'm just like, oh god, what do I do, oh god.
Look, some people break the natural law and must be deleted.
No!
Anyway, we'll come back to that as part of the plot, which we're going to kick off very soon, I promise. We run a 3-hour stream, so there'll be a break about an hour and a half somewhere near the middle, but it is all improvised, so you'll have to roll with us as we get through all of that. Thank you very much. We have a number of... Really? We have a number of lovely people who help us make the shows that we do, who we'd like to thank before we kick off too heavily. First of all, we're sponsored by Hero Forge. Look at these miniatures of other characters! These were 3D printed in colour by Hero Forge, and we made them all on the internet in a 3D modelling character generator. It's excellent. Can thoroughly recommend. A great way to while away an afternoon, spend excellent money on wonderful minis you can then show to all your friends and say, look, this is what my character looks like. Not like that, like that. So, yes, very recommended. Do make your own heroforge.com. We're also sponsored by Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro give us a lot of wonderful stuff to give away, so we're doing a giveaway with them, and it's currently littered all over my table because they're all so lovely and excellent, and I really enjoy them, including their figurines of wondrous power, figurines of adorable power. Keep doing that wrong. And this is a figurine of adorable power. It's called a Gazer. It's kind of a mini beholder buddy. This one sits on my desk, and it's a grump, and it's my best friend. But this one you can't have, but one very much like this you can have if you join us in Twitch chat today. Say anything you want, anything at all, whatever you like. And anything you want, anything at all, whatever you like, doesn't have to be that code, could be literally anything, will allow you a chance to win this. Must have a UK address, though, as postage and competition rules are what they are. We're also supported by a bunch of other lovely people at D&D Beyond, who give us our digital character sheets and the character overlay you can see on the this side of your screen, the left-hand side of your screen. There you go. We are also supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. There is a gold chest code at the bottom of the screen. Do tap that into your app to get a free gold chest worth about $50. Quite good money. We are also supported by Zavi.com, who do lots of D&D clothing and peripherals, and also by the wonderful Level Up Dice, who have recently worked with us to make our own dice set. Ooh. They're called Table Shakers. Here is one I prepared earlier in our special blue colour you can see in our dice heads. So, if you fancy one of them yourself, or they also make these D10s, which are frigging massive. If you would like any of those dice, and you can hear them rolled, trust me, you'll be able to hear them be rolled throughout the stream today. Literally. If you fancy some of those,
Can I just say, I love the way that you held them up and they were right in front of your eyes.
It was good.
That was intentional, I can see myself. But yes, good, lovely. If you fancy some of those, there's a link in chat right now. Do pop along there and grab yourself a pair, maybe for Christmas as a gift to yourself. And why not?
I will say, if you put them in your dice tray, they do take up most of the space in your dice tray. So they are, definite, pieces.
Yes.
Need a bigger dice tray.
I don't need any more D&D stuff, G.
Really don't.
Finally, we play with a diverse set of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we both encourage and champion trans players, characters, and DMs in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own, and we have a policy on misgendering you may hear us using throughout the stream. If you think we've missed gendering opportunity or the ability to give people's gender correctly, please do let us know. Pop something in Twitch chat, send us a tweet, or send us a message. We are always open to being corrected. Lovely. Well, this is it, folks. 2 episodes left. We're in the middle of massive combat. Let's dive in to tonight's episode. Right, so here we go. Sea of Swords Forsaken, episode 11. So close to the end. Now, just to set the scene for everybody, in case we all need a bit of a catch-up. It's going to be a long one. The Bluebottle, Captain Cal Arnold's ship, is currently moving towards an elemental storm that surrounds a Netherese city, which you need to get inside. We'll get to why in a minute. The storm surrounding the city has a gap in it that was created by a control weather spell by Nate last episode, which he has stopped concentrating on, and thus will fade over the course of the next 9 minutes 47 seconds or so, depending on how turn-based combat works. So, you have a short amount of time to get the ship through this gap in the storm. However, recently, in that gap in the storm, was a gigantic, world-destroying water monster called a Leviathan. Basically a gargantuan snake made entirely of water that wants to break out of this storm and go and destroy the world. That's his thing. That's what it wants.
It's less scary if you call it Bob.
It's not called Bob, it's called the Leviathan.
The Leviathan.
Bob the Leviathan, terrifying.
Calling it Bob's quite good because water, Bob. Anyway, so the Leviathan is trying to break out of this storm and cannot due to magical effects from the city within, which we might get to this episode. We'll see how it goes. You are trying to get past it and get into the city, partially because of this. And in doing so, you've made this passage for yourselves, which the Leviathan was blocking physically, but has now moved out of the way of, as it can't get out of the storm and attack you, and its main ability to cause physical damage is to ram into things and smash things. However, it can also cast spells. We'll get to that in a second as well. In the meantime, there was a pirate ship of allies, including warlocks, to this Leviathan creature around the outside of the storm, which in the first round of combat last time, Captain Cal absolutely annihilated, and then Lorraine, Niall's other duplicate, also managed to destroy almost completely. Although some of the crew are in the water, as Prosperous can see, currently swimming in the water with some of these crew, and appear to have special water-based abilities that may come in handy during the next bit. We'll see how that goes. So the Bluebottle is currently heading towards this gap in the storm, heading towards P in the water, and some of these pirates that P is currently fighting with. Everyone on deck of the ship trying to work out how to get their way past this storm, past the Leviathan, and into the ancient Netherese city. Nate, it is your turn. On the round beforehand, the Leviathan, vanishing back into this storm that it surrounds the outside of this city, cast a spell called Storm of Vengeance. There was a very loud, thunderous boom, and the elemental storm that surrounds the city almost seems to be expanding in your direction, over the top of the ship. The storm that surrounds the city has strange purplish lightning, weird elemental effects, and is definitely a problematic, dangerous storm. This storm, now growing above the Bluebottle and spreading, appears to be much, much worse. It's not so much crashes of lightning and bangs, just howling winds are coming out of nowhere, and you can see that you are now heading directly through and into a column of storm that has been created by this Leviathan in front of you. That's clearly going to have some awkward effects as the ship passes through it, but it hasn't happened yet. Nate, on your turn, what would you like to do, seeing all of this situation unfold in front of you? P is in the water, and you can see some other figures shooting around in the water, swimming towards the Bluebottle as well as it heads towards this gap in the storm. What would you like to do in this crazy scenario?
And I can't see any sign of the Leviathan.
No, it moved back into the storm and under the water out of that gap, so it's just waiting, biding its time.
Okay. I'm going to jump off the boat into the water.
Okay.
Hi then.
Fuck this.
Can I see the Leviathan once I'm in the water?
Interesting. As you leap into the water and start looking around, you can see clearly that there are 3 figures in the water, 4 figures counting P. P is currently throwing P's sword quite violently at one of them, it cutting swathes underneath the water as it returns back to P's hand. And there are 2 other figures clearly shooting towards the Bluebottle, ready to do some damage. So you can see that happening. I will let you roll a perception check for free. I'll say that.
Thank you very much. That is 22.
Once again, this crazy multiclass. The storm above the water is replicated below the water, not with clouds and lightning, but there's clearly a churning in the ocean, and you can see how this storm extends under the water as well as above it, where these horrific ocean currents and lots of roiling black and strange effects happening under the water where the storm hits. You can just about see through the water. There is this sort of watery snake made entirely of water you can just about catch a glimpse of moving through this space. You can, for the purposes of spells, see it, but if you try to target it, it has you have disadvantage on attack rolls because it is very hard to make out in the water.
Yeah. And the kind of gap in the storm that we've created, isn't that in any way replicated under the water?
It is, yes. Very much so.
I'd like to swim towards the Leviathan, keeping in that kind of gap.
Okay. I mean, the boat goes 45 feet around, so the boat is going quite quickly at the moment. As you know, Cal, you've exhorted the crew to go faster, haven't you? Is that correct?
Rings a bell.
Yeah, you exhorted the crew. So the ship is currently moving quite quickly. You'd have to dash to keep up with the Bluebottle. It is very fast.
Yeah, I think I'm going to dash.
Okay. So Nate hitting the water. Is it like a beautiful swan dive?
Yeah.
Lovely. Nate hits the water with a beautiful swan dive and just, like a fish, because Triton, moves through the water very, very quickly, going alongside the Bluebottle and moving at an angle away, sort of clearly targeting something inside the storm. You'll have to sort of hug the edge of the storm a little bit to not go into the water that will definitely hurt and maybe kill you, but you can sort of hug the side and get quite close to the Leviathan if you want to. That'll be your action on this turn because you're dashing, but yeah, Nate is in the water. Cow. Nate leaps off the side of the ship. P's already in the water. You're currently captaining the ship as you see it all moving forward towards this. What would you like to do?
I would like to. Bonus action. Can I insight the Leviathan?
You can't see the Leviathan at the moment.
Can't see it right now. Yeah. Okay. I would like to. I'll take aim and wait. I can't hold the ship's action though, can I?
You're currently still on the ship's turn. It's your turn.
Oh, they're different.
They are.
Keep remembering that. In that case, yes. Okay. In that case, I will. hold until I see it again. Can I ask an out of character question?
Of course.
I assume that me trying to use Dispel will not help in any way because it's going to be so much lower level than Anton can do.
If you cast a spell magic on anything that is magical, it will have some effect on it. Yeah, you may need to roll a dice to see if you have an effect on something that has a wider effect. Like the storm around the outside, much like the Storm of Vengeance, is a 9th level spell, effectively. So it is very, very high level, and you can't dispel the whole thing in one go, but you can create patches if you wanted to.
Okay, it'll help the ship get through. In that case, I will try and dispel magic on the new evil column storm.
Okay, cast me. You cast a spell magic as this horrible, gigantic storm column starts moving towards the ship. Can you roll me a d20, and what do you add?
Wisdom for clerics.
Wisdom for clerics, but
It's just your wisdom mod.
Niall, is it your wisdom plus proficiency? You know this.
I don't think you had your proficiency.
For me, it's my intelligence
Plus
ability
proficiency?
modifier.
Just tell us. Okay, so shall we roll me a d20 and add your wisdom modifier to see if you can dispel the Storm of Vengeance?
Oh, I rolled a natural 19, so it's 23. It's about as good as I can get.
This horrific storm that over the course of 10 rounds can do a number of seriously terrible effects is dispelled. Please describe how you, with the power of Mistred...
Totally?
Yes. Describe how you, with the power of Mistred, dispel this storm.
Disbelieving this. Cal hasn't done anything big. Hasn't felt this power, this full-on like support of things really working and doing what she wants. She's kind of like half-heartedly distracted doing it because she's like trying to steer. She's trying to like look out for people, yell at people. But like her eyes flicker and she puts out a hand like angrily, like muttering like storm, not really expecting it to work, and then it does.
I mean, more than just it does. As you reach out with your holy symbol and just try and dispel the storm, you can feel
I don't need the holy symbol because I've got the wheel.
It's because you've got the wheel. The wheel glows with the symbol of your god, and you're probably slightly surprised at how well this is working. There's a real sort of like moment as the wheel glows and the massive storm column approaching ahead of you just vanishes out of existence beautifully in an almost perfect like spokes of a wheel around it, and then it just fading away into nothingness. And yeah, bit of shock, bit of surprise, you've dispelled a 9th level spell.
Oh my gosh. She looks down at the ship's wheel where she'd at some point in the past quite aggressively bashed out the 8th spoke, and she goes, I should get that fixed.
Lovely stuff. Very, very nice. Bonus action?
Can't top that, no.
Okay. Thank you, Kel. And I'm guessing you're still steering the ship towards the gap in the storm.
Yeah.
Lovely. Milk.
Hi. Milk, standing on deck of the ship, will turn in panic towards the direction of the column of storm that's erupting towards them, and then calm down as it vanishes.
I mean, seriously, acid rain, lightning strikes, it's terrible. It's the worst.
Right, yeah. I don't want to get wet. So there's a bunch of swimmers in the water around Prosperous.
Yes, there are. If you lean over the side, you can see Prosperous in battle with something in the water. Roll me a perception check just to see if you do see the figures under the surface of the water, because they're in water. They're not easy to see.
I did shout say there were people here last time.
Yeah, it's a question of how well you can see.
With the fly in my mouth.
15.
15. You can see figures below the surface of the water. You can't see them clearly. Any kind of attack roll would be a disadvantage.
Okay. Are they quite close to Prosperous at this point?
One is very close to Prosperous, about 20, 30 feet away. The other two are speeding towards the Bluebottle and will get there on their next turn.
And just geographically, so you may remember that I did summon a giant something or other from Casme from the lower reaches of somewhere, which is currently on the other ship.
You're currently zooming past that ship where you can just see your new demonic friend just falling on pirates. There's a bunch of horrible screams cut really abruptly short. Nice. You've summoned a demon aboard a pirate ship, and it's going really well for them.
Does it look like a giant fly? In my head, it looks quite fly-like.
It is basically a giant bulbous fly with a very long proboscis. That it is. You see a pirate trying to run and jump off the edge of the ship, but being clawed back by two spindly hands that grab hold of it, and then the proboscis just sticks like in the side of their neck, and they just sort of start to very visibly get drained of all life, sentience, anything.
Milk is asking himself some questions about his aesthetic choices in this matter, I think.
Not the morality of this, the aesthetic.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so the Casme, currently loosely under his instruction,
Yes.
it apparently, according to its stat block, lets off a huge drone just constantly, and any creatures within 30 feet of it have to make a save. And I'm just wondering, can I get that as far as the Leviathan? Or would it be more useful to put that near Prosperous, but would that also be a risk to Prosperous? And I can't quite see the geography in my head to make that decision.
If you told the Casme, you can shout at the Casme and give it orders. I think, is it an action or a bonus action to command it?
It's a free action, and it can fly 60 feet, so that's my...
You know its true name. You could command it to go towards the figures in the water and try and drone at them. That's perfectly fine.
What kind of save is it?
The Leviathan is currently not visible to you and somewhere in the storm. So the Casme could go bumbling off into the storm full of elementals, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, it's a Constitution save, Prosperous.
I'm pretty decent at con.
Are you sure? If you fail it, you fall unconscious for 10 minutes.
That's not good underwater.
It's not ideal.
Right.
You're not going to drown, though.
Small.
No, I don't know that that's fun. I'm going to point it towards... I'm going to send the Casme towards the gap in the storm with my reaction to command it.
Sure.
See if that develops into anything, but...
Can you instruct it, please? Let's have that conversation, because you and the Casme talk to each other to instruct it.
You beautiful creature of death. Further feasting awaits thee. If you would just see that narrow gap between what is clearly death on both sides, would you just whip yourself through there and feast on the next thing you find?
But there are dying souls here, Master.
What if it goes to the city?
You've literally said
But the storm's very deep, right? Like, it's not going to get all the way to the city, right? We'll be fine. Well, these are mere appetizers, Casme, for what awaits within the storm, a creature of unknowable power.
Which would destroy me if I got too close to it. I am wise to your games, Warlock. Whatever you do, don't use my real name or I'm forced to do it.
Luckily, I wrote it down on the back of my hand.
Yeah, giving you this one.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, no! Cassis! Flows off.
Can't get the stuff these days.
Right, so that's a free action. Let's just start there. Great.
That's free action.
Yep.
So I can't see at all the big swirly water snake.
No, it has moved into the storm, and the storm is basically pure obscurement at ground level, at air level. Underwater, the storm doesn't have quite the same blockage visibility.
Then I'm going to cast Synaptic Static at the two figures in the water that are not near Prosperous.
Wow.
So I'm going to cast it at a point near them.
What saving throw is it?
It is an intelligence saving throw unless they have an intelligence of 2 or lower, in which case they can't be affected.
No, they're humanoids. They have a +1 to intelligence saving throws.
Hurrah! Please make a save.
It's an 11 and a 12.
That would be a fail.
Oh.
8d6. That's fun. That's a nice number.
Describe how you cast this spell and what it does to them.
I don't know. I've never cast it before. It's like a brain fireball. That's what it is in my head. Synaptic static. Back in my old days, I used to be in league with a great old one, which was much more good for psychic and mental powers. This is a bit of a hangover. So I just look out, sort of see them, and then twist reality where they are, and their brains are suddenly filled with all the things that they'd rather have forgotten. All bad childhood memories, the time they shit themselves in class, that kind of thing.
How did you know?
Well, Niall, I've watched your YouTube channel. So if they both take 40 damage.
4-0?
4-0, 4 10s. And
oh my god.
They have to deduct a d6 from every attack roll and ability check and constitution saving throw they make. For a minute.
Holy crap.
And at the end of my turn, which that is... Falalas the Casme gets to make a save to see if it remains under my control.
Disadvantage because you know its real name.
That's correct. It's a charisma save.
I'm just going to roll the dice. You have to tell me the modifier because I haven't got it in front of me. Ooh, it's not bad. 16.
With a +0.
16?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I win. I'm against a 17.
Thank goodness.
First one. Good. All right.
Why does this feel like a poker game all of a sudden? Only the price for losing is death.
For all of it. It'll be fine.
So the two figures in the water, you underwater you can hear no screams, but they both stop in the water at this, and P, you can see in the water this strange reality.
Hear screams underwater.
Well, then you hear a very vague as both of them hold their heads, and you see that vague reality warping shift you've seen from Milk's casting before under the water as they both hold their heads. The one nearest you looks back at them, sees this happening, looks forward towards you, and is just going to get into melee with you, and
I wave.
Okay.
It's gonna kill me now, isn't it?
Well, it's going to do something. Can you please roll me?
Not intelligence.
Can you be charmed?
No, I'm immune to charm.
They try and cast a spell at you. This figure in the water, you don't recognize them and they don't recognize you. They have a very classic piratical look, but there's a lot of strange watery effects around them, and this figure in the water just reaches their hand out and tries to sort of grab hold of your mind, very clearly casting a spell, but nothing happens. They try to dominate you.
I look placid.
They look concerned. They are going to turn around and swim towards the ship.
Wait, if they got within melee of me,
They didn't
can I
get
now
melee to
hit
dominate.
them?
They didn't get with the melee to dominate. They held up about 10 feet away, did it, and then are now going to swim away from you quite quickly, quite scared of what's next has happened. Run away! Run away! The two in the water, seeing their fellow compatriot run away, are going to head straight for the ship, holding their heads in agony. Their speed is so fast as they swim. They are so quick that as they get to the side of the Bluebottle, they both propel themselves out of the water, and in doing so, both land on the deck of the ship. And these two pirates, as they land, look around themselves, and again, they're very much piratical, very much in the same sort of styling as Cal, if a bit more Cornish. And there is...
Wait, what does a bit more Cornish mean in the context?
Are they holding Cornish pasties?
Yeah.
Soaking wet pasties.
I'm going to say more cable knit. I'm going to say it's more cable knit. More cable knit. But as they land, they're both carrying swords in one hand and both look around looking for targets. Milk is there, Cal is there, Anton is there, Lorraine is there, but also a bunch of random-ass crew members.
No!
They're clearly outnumbered.
No, I'm not.
Anton and Cal are still warded. Warding bonded.
I think they're not looking to take out lots of randomers. They're looking to take out the really heavy hitters. That obviously makes more sense. So one is going to step up to you, Milk. And
I
as
think
they
Milk was up the top of the mast.
Oh, you're up the mast.
I remember.
Oh yes, you climbed up the mast. In which case, Anton, they come up towards you. The first one, a sword in one hand, is going to reach out with the other, this hand almost sort of turning completely black and liquidy.
You have a +1 bonus to your AC and to all saving throws and resistance to all damage.
As Warding 1 was cast last time, yes.
So do you, Cal.
Huzzah!
But yes, they are going to reach out for you, Anton, and they are going to try and grab you with this watery hand.
Please deduct a d6 from that roll.
So 14 to hit you?
No.
No, the hand remains watery. The hand remains watery, but they do try and grab hold of you, and you are now in melee with this figure. The other one is going to run up towards the steering column. Cal is going to try and take over the ship. And
as they come towards me,
Yeah.
not my crew, I'm just going to be like, damn straight! And like... Well, if I let go of the steering wheel, it'll just be fine.
You'll work it out. You'll work it out.
Yeah.
As they run towards you, they are going to cast Eldritch Blast and just try and hit you twice. As they run forward, just 2 Eldritch Blasts streak out of their hand as they run into melee with you, but they're going to try and hit you with Eldritch Blast.
Well, I have a +1 DC, so.
Okay, that is a 14 to hit you. Oh, no, sorry, minus a D6. There's a 13 to hit you. Oh, wow.
Still doesn't hit.
Do you say they run past us?
One ran into melee with you, one is running up towards Cal, shooting Eldritch Blast at Cal while running up. I rolled an 18 on the dice, which is really good, which means it's a 25. I then minus 6 from that. Thank you very much, Red. So that's a 19 to hit you, Cal.
Hits.
Still
Just
hits. Just hits.
Yeah.
Okay. 9 plus 4. 13 points of damage.
How does that halve?
You can choose whether you take more or less than Cal. One takes 7, one takes 6, your call. Actually, no, that's not the way it works, because effectively Cal has resistance, so it is halved, which means
and I take the same.
Which means you both take, you round down 6, you both take 6 points of damage. As the Eldritch Blast hits you, Cal, and as this pirate runs up into melee with you and is pulling out a sword and very much looking to duel with you on by the steering column in a cool moment, obviously. As the impact hits you, you realise it's hitting you slightly more dully than it usually would and doesn't hurt as much. And you get a slight sort of...
I think it like blasts out of the ring and ow!
This ring hurts! Sucks. I don't like it.
No, this was what I intended.
Perfect. Anton, you and Lorraine have the same initiative count because that's the way life works sometimes. So what would you like to do?
Those both get intelligence saves at the end of their turn.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
Minus a d6 again? Presumably.
I don't know, it doesn't say that.
Okay.
I presume so.
I mean, your DC is a 17 and they didn't roll high enough.
Oh no, it's not against saving throws. It doesn't get it on saving throws. So it
okay.
Don't. Just Constitution.
It's con save.
Yeah.
It's a con save or an intelligence
This
save?
is an intelligence save.
You're making an intelligence save without a d6.
19 and a 14.
The 19 passes, the 14 doesn't.
Okay, Anton, the one that's fighting you shakes their head and appears to no longer be in the same situation they were beforehand that you weren't 100% sure was going on anyway, but there you go.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I am gonna cast... how are they looking? They're looking fine, aren't they?
They are bleeding from the nose, eyes, and ears.
Oh. Well, in that case, yeah, I'm gonna swish my rapier and cast Blooming Blade and go for a nice old swing.
Go for it.
Okie-dokie, artichoke. Oh, that's okay.
Is Anton
What's my melee? Ooh, that's okay. Where is
Maybe
it?
Anton's got scurvy and just really wants some vegetables.
Right.
That's how that works, yes.
So that was a request from Nate.
That's a 19.
Yeah, that hits them.
Awesome. So, my damage is... Oh, sorry, I've got so many stuff.
Totally fine. We all do.
Okay. All right. So,
We'll come back.
so the regular damage is bloop 4 plus 3 is 7, and then that does an extra d8, which is a bloop, which is a 6. So that's a 13. If the maths is correct.
13 damage.
Yeah, and then if they move, they take 2 d8s again. If they move.
If they move. And are they like? How does Booming Blade manifest? What does it look like as you strike out with your rapier?
So as he pulls out his shield, just in a nice stance, he swings down and just cuts their thigh, and then leaps up, and you can see as the thigh scratch happens, just energy pulses out around the pirate, and he just looks at him and he goes, "Come on then." And he takes a step for 5 feet away, enough for them to still be in range. But it's like, he's like, "Come on, get closer."
Okay, fine.
He does the Bruce Lee like, "Oh."
Okay, any bonus action?
Yeah, not really. Not much I can do.
Lorraine is going to stay behind you and can't step away because in melee combat, but is going to, is going where you swiped out. They just sort of lean forward and their hand just reaches out and grabs the warlock's face around the chin. At least I hope it does. I'm making a melee attack roll. Yeah, resounding hit. That's a 22. And as Lorraine reaches out and grabs hold of their chin, the pirate starts shrieking as their entire lower half of their face starts to rot.
Yeah.
They take 5 points of bludgeoning damage and...
Careful.
12, 18... No, that's 8, 20... 29... 34 points of necrotic and bludgeoning damage as they are grabbed around the chin and just collapse to the deck, screaming in agony. The entire lower half of their face has just rotted away.
Anton looks at Lorraine and is like, ew.
Don't need a rapier anymore.
Aye. That's still alright. And then he just sort of looks around for the next pirate.
The one on the deck is not dead, so that's 4 hit points. Right. Cal, the ship's turn.
Ship's turn. Can ships hold actions?
Ships could potentially hold actions. I don't see why not. Yeah, why not?
Don't know. Well, okay.
The crew is technically holding the action for the ship, arguably.
Yeah. Cal is gonna step away from the wheel on the assumption that Fanric will step in.
Hang on, I'm going to roll for this.
Where's Fanric?
Fanric's a long way away. Fanric is down on deck,
Damn.
trolling people. From behind you, Stefan just, I've got it, runs in behind you, just, grabs the wheel.
Well, it's like just
Where are we
not
going?
who she was expecting. Just like, all right.
Where are we going,
Could have been
Captain?
Kevin. Could have been Kevin.
Obviously that way, Stefan. Sorry about that.
The warlock just pauses and, no, take your time.
I'll get to you.
No, right, take your time. Yep.
Before I get to them, I will yell out to everyone, take aim and hold. We're nearly there, and we got gods on our side now.
Righto, Captain! There's a vague shout for Fanric somewhere on the ship.
That was partly for the benefit of person thinks they're so great because they worship a Leviathan in front of me. And can I also ask that Fanric once again is like, let's go, people, and then the ship goes fast.
So you want the ship to go 65 feet this round?
I have to roll for it actually.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's an extra 5 feet around. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So the ship's going 50 feet around, which means it passes, and Stefan just starts turning the wheel wildly, and it curves into this passage through the storm.
Does it go past me? Can I grab it?
It goes past you, and you have a turn in a moment.
Oh, the magic mouth activates as he turns the wheel.
Oh, it does.
As they turn the wheel.
He turns the wheel, sorry.
It's fine. Goes around and starts turning in. Pete, I will say that as a free action, if you want to, there's probably some trailing rope, and you can probably grab hold of one of the ropes and get yoinked along with the ship as it goes.
I think it would be good to be with the ship so that we're not all over the place.
Totally fine. So you grab hold of a rope and you are now, as you wanted to a long time ago, and now it's finally coming true, slightly water skiing next to the ship.
I practiced this.
The warlock who was with you just watches you go.
I wave.
And there's a certain amount of where do I go now? Doesn't really know what to do. There are no ships. It's left alone in the middle of the ocean. Oh, well, good thing they worship a god of water. Right, so the ship is curving into the storm. As it curves into the storm, it is now passing the threshold of the storm, so it is now inside the channel. And you can see that the walls of Stormy the Side are slowly moving inwards. Very slowly, but at the moment still moving inwards. This passage will not stay open forever, because it's only open for another 9.5 minutes or so, depending on when you count in turn-based initiative. The ship is flying in, and Prosperous, you are on a rope being dragged along with the ship at quite high speed. P, it is your
Left
turn.
someone behind.
Have we?
Yeah, Nate's in the water.
Oh, Nate's fine. I wouldn't worry about Nate too much.
Oh,
Nate's keeping up.
I swam ahead. So
Nate's keeping up speed because of turn-based initiative. Nate is basically also swimming into the space and swimming up, keep getting ready to see the Leviathan. That's very clear. So Nate's also in the water. Nate's very fast as well. Nate has a very high swim speed, being a Triton. And not quite as fast as these nutters who can literally propel themselves out of the water, but you know. Prosperous, what would you like to do?
can I climb onto the ship without using my action? Can I just use my movement?
Roll an athletics check. It's not your action. I just want you to roll an athletics check.
19?
Yeah, you're fine. You pull yourself onto the deck of the ship. That is fine.
Anton! Oh, spit the fly out onto the ship.
Ding, 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 ding.
Milk!
Roll me a d20 to see if you spit it off the edge of the ship.
There!
Okay.
That's a 4.
Ding, ding, ding. It sort of spins and lands near the edge. Not off the edge quite.
Could someone just grab Beelzebub? Please? Anton!
Hey?
You know we spoke about the flying thing.
Hey?
Could you still do that?
Hey?
Grand. I'll just wait here.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind dealing with this, and he points to the warlock on the ground holding their destroyed face, still riding around. You might just dealing with this.
What did you do?
I points at Lorraine.
Throw my sword.
Sure, make an attack roll.
That is a 25.
Yeah, you hit the person with 4 hit points.
And no chin.
And no chin.
Well, I've rolled more than 4.
Yeah, the sword scythes into the person on the deck and impales them into the deck with a heavy hit, and then with a sort of meaty pulls itself out of the deck and goes back into your hand.
I'll throw the one standing next to Cal as well.
Sure, go for it.
While I'm here.
Yeah.
2 attacks. That's a natural 1.
I mean, it's a nat 1, and Cal is right there, and Stefan is right there.
Leave Stefan alone.
I mean, if it's Cal, I take half the damage.
I think what I'm going to say happens, because I think I like this, is the sword sighs through the air and just cuts into the steering column.
Steering wheel.
Oh.
And Stefan's suddenly there going, turn, and suddenly falls over, holding the wheel, rolling over sideways as the entire steering column is now gone, and the ship is now veering wildly.
God. Oh,
Did you need that?
Oh, this is bad.
The ship is now clearly going through the channel and sort of turning into the storm at this point.
Carl was just about to get all dueling with this warlock, and she's just like, oh, okay.
Well, this is happening. So the thing that happens now. Good. Right.
Sorry.
That was brilliant.
As you move into the channel, out of the storm, you all see this happening.
God.
The Leviathan just leaps out of the storm, and it's like a gigantic wall of water, a wave crashing towards the ship, and it just tries to hit the ship. It tries to sink the ship in one hit.
Is this an attack roll?
Yes, it is.
Can I make that a 9?
You make it a 9 using one of your portent dice.
Yeah.
Okay. So plus its modifier, that is a 20 non-natural to hit the ship. Thanks, mate. I was have to roll for that. Guess I don't have to now. As it launches itself forward.
Fuck, it's so strong.
Yeah, of course it is. It's basically a living storm. Yeah, it's going to launch itself towards the ship. And Cal, just for your benefit, Leviathans are siege monsters. They do double damage against objects.
Oh my god!
Over my ship, though.
We're all dead.
It is currently trying to attack the sails.
I need those.
Yeah, you do.
We need those to sail.
Correct.
Sail.
When you say the sails, you don't mean the mast where I'm standing.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Yes, correct.
There are other masts, surely. It's a big ship.
Well, there are 2. There's the foremast and the main mast, but it's going to hit both of them.
Go for both.
It's gargantuan. It has a 30-foot hit radius, effectively.
Okay.
So it just smashes over the top of the ship. Basically, this gigantic living wall of water looks a bit like a snake, is crashing over the top of the ship and going basically through it. Just passing through it, trying to drag as much of the ship away with it as it can and damage and destroy it.
Oh, it's not friendly at all.
Sails only had an AC of 12. You didn't even need you.
Right. The first that it hits 10, 17, 20, 2 plus 5 is 27. Times 2, because it's a siege monster, is 54 points of damage on the first hit.
That is over half of their HP already. They
Cool.
are
Good. What's the intention?
not looking good.
The second attack, as it continues to move. Also, on its attack roll, anything in its space is... 4 things in its space are effectively grappled. Fantastic. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to the second attack roll first, see if I take the mast with me. That is an 18.
Very much hits.
Yep. Less
Sails
good on the
big
attack roll.
and
5,
not dodgy
9,
and
11,
weak.
16.
As if they could do
32. 32 points of damage on the second. Are the sails still there?
They still exist. Yes.
So the wave crashes over the deck of the ship violently, just passing over, and everyone on deck of the ship. So Anton, Lorraine.
Wait, isn't the ship protected from elementals?
Yes,
So wouldn't it roll at
is.
disadvantage? Because it's an elemental.
Is it roll with disadvantage, or it can't touch it?
They're not allowed to step foot on the ship traditionally.
Is the water it, or is the water its weapon? It's like
It passed through the ship.
What I will say is that as it does this, it tries to land on the ship, tries to sink it, but instead it gets bowled over it, and it sort of skips over the top of it. We'll take half the damage off, Cal, because it can't actually physically get onto the ship. So these,
Well remembered, Emma.
yeah, good timing.
Absolute clutch. Yeah, brilliant.
Does Hallow also affect the creatures on board the ship? It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so sorry, but can't enter the area, and creatures can't charm, frighten, or possess creatures within it.
It's a melee attack, so it can't enter the area. I'm going to say because of the sheer weight of it, it can still apply pressure on the space it can't enter. So it is moving across it. But as you all know, as it washes over, it's like this sort of bubble of water tears through the sails, but it's only slightly above all of your heads. It could try and, like, if that water had passed over you, it could try and grab you and pull you off the deck of the ship. It has so many things it can do, but instead just skips off it like a stone, howling again this sort of strange thunderous roar, which sounds more like thunder than a roar, as it passes over the top of the ship and is now around the ship trying to impact it, but clearly can't do anything with its melee attack and is utterly fucking furious. Furious.
Crew, now that they can see it, fire
Yes, of course they
ballistas
can.
at it.
Please do.
A ballista and a mangonel.
Wow.
I'm fine. Don't worry. It's fine.
I mean, the mangonel's going to be firing. You only have a couple of stones, so this is probably the only other stone that you have. And also, it's firing it at it's a catapult. It's going to go. I hit it. It's just ramming into it because of where it is. You can roll both
it's so
attack rolls.
close.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got disadvantage if it's close. Actually, I think
It's disadvantage attack.
it might
roll.
not. Does it even work? It might
up
not
to
even
you.
work. That close, actually.
Go for it.
Yeah, it can't. It can't. It can't.
Okay, so the mangonel doesn't, but the ballista can. Go for it.
Yeah, mangonel's doomed. Okay. Right, that was a. Where's my ballista gone? 12 plus. It presumably also has disadvantage. No, the ballista still has disadvantage because it's not within. Oh no.
The ballista's just a
No, it
normal
doesn't,
attack roll.
okay.
It's a ballista you can shoot at close range.
That's an 18 to hit.
Just hits, yeah.
Okay, and that is. Oh, I'm gonna roll some d10s. It's gonna be so much fun for all the family. And that is. Oh, yay! Amazing. 28 piercing damage,
28 piercing. It's not magical.
which is 2 10s and an 8 on 3d10s. That's pretty good.
It's not magical, so it is halved, so it takes 14. But as the ballista shot tears through, and this sort of strange coiled watery snake is now almost wrapped around the ship, trying desperately to affect it and impact it, but really struggling to do anything with its massive watery form. But it is it was like a massive bubble of snaky water surrounding all of you at the
Can
moment.
it stop us? But it can stop us going anywhere.
Oh yeah, the ship is grinding.
in the
I
way.
mean, the steering wheel is gone, so the ship is currently turning wildly, and the movement pace has slowed absolutely at this point.
Wow.
Milk, you are currently on the mast, so currently sort of inside it, but I think because of the way this works, like the sheer force of it, but you're sort of in this sort of like spire of air with it all around you, just yeah.
Ah.
Great.
Your Kazme is your Kazme is around. It didn't get attacked, so it's going to try and fight its way through to you. It's done. Great, cool. Yep. Nate, you are in the water. As you swim alongside the ship, you can see all of this happen, and you can see the Leviathan wrapped around the Bluebottle. What would you like to do?
Yep. I mean, so how far away from it am I?
About 30 feet. You kept pace with the ship. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to cast Phantasmal Force on the Leviathan. And I'm going to create in the mind of the Leviathan, if it fails the saving throw, a tiny little duplicate of the ship. So I can do it in a 10-foot cube, which means that I can make a ship diagonally that's about 14 feet long. And it's going to have all of the crew, all of the everything, but louder and like more vividly coloured, and it is going to be constantly firing cannon at the Leviathan. So it needs to make an intelligence save.
So it's closer, so it looks big.
Is it? So it's a smaller, more garish, louder. Is it a cartoon version of the ship?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's just constantly attacking.
It's like a machine gun cannons.
Yeah.
And it's an intelligence saving throw it has to make?
It is.
I have legendary resistances, and I feel like I should use one because...
You should roll it first.
I mean, I can just roll it and then decide, can't I?
Yes.
Okay. Right, that is... What is your spell save DC?
17.
17. Yeah, I have rolled an 11. Not very smart. It's such a waste of legendary resistance. Such a waste. Such a waste. It only does a d6 damage, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
It's not about the damage.
but it's controlled then. Like it's.
It's about where who it thinks it needs to attack.
Yeah.
Like, which is, it's going to be really embarrassing if it starts attacking the cartoon version.
We can all just like
For
get
it.
lunch.
Yeah.
They're looking at me like, what's it doing?
And then the moment it touches it, the moment it touches it. Oh no, because Phantasmal Force, if it touches it, the spell makes sense of it not destroying it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has to save against it.
Just the once. Yeah.
I'm burning a legendary resistance. Fuck it, I'm burning it now. I am burning legendary resistance on a first level spell, second level spell.
Second level.
Amazing.
Sod it. I am. That is.
Amazing.
It's too dumb. It would negate the whole.
Amazing.
No, not having
Goodbye.
it. Done. That's a really good burn of legendary resistance. Yeah. You gonna do it again, bastard?
Might
Right.
do. Depends what happens.
Keep popping them up.
Cal, it is actually Nate. You have a bonus action.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
2 seconds.
You have a lot of choice.
You still concentrating on that gust of wind?
No. Long gone.
No. Oh, I'm gonna activate my blade song.
How does the
Which-
dancing work in the water?
So it's like I forgot, like synchronized swimming, but solo.
Swimming.
Yeah.
Like one leg pirouetting in the air for no good reason. Like,
And I like there's a weird kind of musical, almost singing type element to it, which is sort of like whale song almost. In the
Okay.
water. Yeah.
Okay, that is what I say. I say okay. Cal, there's a warlock, and your ship's surrounded by snaky water, watery snake.
I like the snaky water. I'm going to say, welcome aboard. It's not always like this.
The warlock is just looking around themselves, and from their perspective, their god has just entered their space, and they clearly look reverent and very, very pleased with this whole situation, and turn to you with a hungry look in their eyes.
I shall catch their gaze, hold it for a moment, while I, insight check them slightly. That was a 26.
Catch their gaze there, Red. Is that what happened?
That's the insight check.
That deception roll. They are a warlock. They are charisma based, but that is not fantastic. That is a 9.
No.
I rolled a 5, but it's decent.
Then I'm going to with the cutlass.
With your new magical special cutlass.
Magical special cutlass. That's a 26 to hit.
Yes, you hit.
I've got
Only 26s this turn.
That's
base damage is 9. Let me find my sneak attack. Where are you? Sneak attack.
It's too sneaky.
Plus, wasn't so good. Plus 13 is 22.
22 points of damage. Are you having a sort of cool, full-on duel as you step up and have a sort of cutlasses drawn dueling fight on the top deck?
Reluctantly, because it's just this constant Leviathan! Ship! Sails!
Yep. Fair. Yep. Cool. Thank you, Cal. Milk.
It's all a lot, isn't it? There's a lot going on.
Correct.
The big ball of snaky water, is that the Leviathan?
Yes.
As in, is that an attackable surface that's everywhere?
Oh, yeah, very much.
Okay. That's fun. I think just good to know that, frankly. I might descend the mast at least part way. I think I'm a little high to get all the way down.
There are no attacks of opportunity because it cannot affect you on board the ship, so it's just this wall of angry-looking water around you.
Okay, I'm just quietly going to sneak back down the mast towards where there are other creatures, feeling a little bit isolated up there. And then, you know what? I'm just going to wing a Mind Sliver, just a mere cantrip at it, which will just mean, just for all those interested, that it will have disadvantage. Oh no, I have a minus a d4 from its next saving throw.
Next saving throw?
Yeah, it's a new cantrip that came out in Tasha's. I think
very
it's quite
nice.
nifty.
Very nice.
So it just needs to make an intelligence save if it would against my DC of 17.
It rolled a 2, which makes it a -2.
So you take 3d6.
It has -4 to intelligence saving throws.
Intelligence of 2. It is a force of nature. It is not intelligent.
Jesus, it's worse than
Please
me.
deduct 10 from its tiny, I'm sure, pool of hit points.
Yeah.
And if anyone does anything cool that requires a saving throw, it will obviously burn a little resistance, but you get the idea.
Yes, very much. So you've climbed down to the deck ship where everyone else is at the moment, just looking around you at this strange wall of water that briefly doused you in this sort of water, but then quickly realised it couldn't affect the ship directly.
Oh, are you on the
Good.
deck?
Forward padding. I don't know. It depends how tall the mast was. I've come 30 feet down anyway.
I'd say you can be on deck of the ship.
Oh, Milk! Beelzebub's over there!
Do I have any movement left? Can I
Yeah,
pick
go get Beelzebub. Yeah, just go get Beelzebub.
I will pick
bothering
up
you with
the
this
little
shit.
stone, brush it off, and
Disturbingly
give
dumb.
ever so slight side eye to Prosperous, and then put them away amongst my robes. And then I will command the Casbah to get effing near the effing water snake thing.
You want the Casbah to attack it?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. What are the Casbah's attacks? You control the Casbah.
So, it might die, so let's see what happens. It's going to make an attack with its proboscis, and attempt... Proboscis? Okay. The thing that you just said. It rolls a natural 20. For the Casbah, +5, 25.
I think as this sort of watery snake coils its way around the ship, desperate to try and affect it, but currently not able to in any way, suddenly this fly comes in out of nowhere and just jabs it in the side. Go on.
That's 14 plus 76.
76 of what damage?
No, sorry, the first one is piercing, 14 piercing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What kind of damage is a 76?
The 76 is necrotic.
Oh.
It's 27 is the total, and its hit point maximum is reduced by that number. Unless it takes a long rest.
Bear that in mind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it has to make the saving throw against the drone on its turn.
Yeah, at the start of its turn, DC is con 12. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Hang on, what is the effect? Is it stunned, petrified?
It falls unconscious.
It's
for 10
unconscious.
minutes.
It's not immune to being unconscious. It's immune to many things. It's not immune to being unconscious.
Unless
We've found
it
a
takes
magical.
any more damage or is splashed with holy water. So
Well,
don't fail the save.
Gosh, I didn't bring my holy water.
well, that's a thing that has happened.
Maybe it's made of holy water. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it is holy water.
The warlock in the water is not taking part in this anymore. The one on the deck of the ship who is fighting Cal is going to look at the creature all round it and emboldened by its god being very nearby.
Oh, no, that's not even a real god.
Wow.
Hey, don't bring down my dead god count.
Right.
Cal, please make me a strength saving throw.
With +5
Why?
because you're
That
near me.
sounds-
Oh.
Not near enough. You're within 10 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, but I ran into.
You threw the sword. You didn't run into melee.
Okay.
I mean, I rolled
I
on that
allowed you
one
to climb up.
anyway.
Okay.
So
You take.
irrelevant.
Ooh. You take 10 points of necrotic damage as this strange water around the creature sort of lashes out with
no, it
dark
would
black
be, sorry,
tendrils.
it will be half.
Also, I think I might be resistant to necrotic damage.
I mean, you're resistant to the damage already, so it doesn't matter. You can't be resistant. No, you can be resistant twice. You can quarter it. Are you resistant to necrotic damage?
Yes.
Okay, you take
correct.
2 points of necrotic damage, and Prosperous, you take 2 points as well.
Ow.
Cal, as this sort of strange watery tendrils swirl around it and buffet you, you feel your energy being sapped from you, and you can't take reactions until your next turn.
Boo.
Yup. It was emboldened. They were emboldened.
So emboldened.
Yep. At which point they will, just stay in combat with you and be ready to do more. Anton.
Oh, cancel the flying. It's here now. I think it'll be fine.
Roger, did we miss your turn?
No, I'm at the start of the round. I killed the steering.
Oh, that's right. Just round is so long at high level.
Oh yes.
I feel like P's right. We need to kill this thing. Fuck it.
That's P's plan. That's what P wanted.
It's made out of water, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna upcast at 5th level, chromatic orb, cold damage, and I'm gonna look at Lorraine and be like, "Let's freeze this fucker."
Fun.
Cool. Make me a spell attack roll. I mean, if you miss this, we're gonna have to find some really interesting way of whiffing it, because it's literally all around you.
Well, that's a 24, so I hope I don't miss.
You hit it. Yes, it is right there.
Nice.
You chromatic orbit with cold damage. Roll me the damage on it, please.
Awesome. Okay, that's 7.
Also, it has a
7.
strange effect when hit by cold damage.
Oh boy.
A big one, a cheerful one. Does it give out little gifts?
I've fucked this up, haven't I? I've made it stronger, guys.
Small presents
8
of ice.
plus 3,
Ice presents.
which is
11.
11. Plus 2, which is
13.
Thank you. Plus 1.
14.
Plus 6.
20.
Plus 3.
23.
Plus 1. Wow, didn't roll great there.
No, it doesn't matter. It has to take 50 points of cold damage, which it didn't from that. So 24 points of damage. You can see where you hit it. The water freezes in places, and parts of it are freezing solid. But it is currently not. It's currently quite pissed off and writhing and angry, and but parts of it are starting to freeze into solid chunks.
Do they fall out? They just stay there.
They just stay there in the water,
Like icebergs.
like sort of
Yeah.
icebergs inside the water. Yes. Yeah.
Sweet.
Huh. That's a nice idea.
Yes. Lorraine looks at you, Anton, and goes, "Should I do more of that, or should we try and banish it? I mean, it'll be difficult."
Let's fucking kill it.
All right.
And he's gonna sort of stand in front of Lorian with his shield and his magical orb flowing around him, just to like guard him with the shield whilst he casts the spell.
That's all good. They are going to also cast Chromatic Orb. I'll just do flat damage for that if they hit, which they do. Yeah, another 20 points of cold damage as the Leviathan around you just freezes up at various points, and you are doing. It looks quite badly hurt already. It looks like it has taken, like parts of it are falling away, and it's very clearly can't do anything to you. Its main threat is its physicality, and it can't affect the ship in the way that it wants to, and is clearly quite frustrated and angry with this whole situation. Prosperous, what would you like to do? There's the warlock on the deck of the ship, and you're surrounded by Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Okay.
Right. I would like to cast. Not that one.
Not that one.
Yes. No. Sorry.
It's alright.
Allow me to just think about this. It's immune to psychic damage, isn't it? Because I tried casting Wrathful Smite on it. It can't be frightened.
It just saved. Oh, it can't be frightened. That's correct. It can't be frightened.
Yeah. Too many spells.
Oh dear. What a shame.
Shush. Does it look like it could be blinded?
I mean, how on earth do you... It doesn't have eyes.
Doesn't have eyes. Probably not then.
Yes, that's right. Two things that don't have eyes.
I wasn't intending on blinding Lorraine. I'm just going to hit it, and then I'm just going to smite it once I've hit it.
Good choice. Good to think these things through, though.
Right, one of those is a 17.
Does not hit.
Damn it. And the other one is a 26.
Well, yes, that hits.
Which I will put my final third level smite on.
Cool.
So that is some dice. Bear with me while I roll some dice.
That is fine. Paladin maths time.
On my seat.
Okay.
Well, there's the smite plus the extra damage plus the extra smite damage plus the sword's extra damage.
29.
A lot of stuff.
This might be a good
What's your strength?
44. Add 5. 49 points of damage.
Wow.
Yep, you throw the sword because you could strike out with the sword, or do you throw it?
No, I'm throwing it from the ship.
You throw the sword from the ship up, and it scythes through, glowing with radiant light, and just like windmills through like a boomerang. And as it does, it just churns and froths the watery body of it as it comes through back to your hand. And you can see there's like water raining out of it. And if it was a real thing, if it was a real creature, you would have gutted it, but it doesn't have guts.
Fuck it up, pee! So you hear from the ship.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Rick 'em, rack 'em, rock 'em, rake. Stick that sword into that snake.
Nice. It can't use its slam attacks to affect the ship because it can't touch the ship.
Aha.
It can't do that or that or that as legendary actions because all of them require it to touch something. Oh.
Piss off!
I mean, Nate's in the water.
Yes, but Nate cast a... It would just be a turn around. Destroy Nate! Come back. No, it's angry with the ship.
Is that one of its abilities?
Yeah, it's called Destroy Nate. It's on its character sheet here. It's a melee weapon attack. It is going to instead use its water jet ability because that is a ranged weapon attack, which means
I would have moved into the middle of all the people.
Totally fine. It's going to use its water jet. It's not attacking people, it's attacking the ship. It is going to try and destroy the ship with its water jet. Because the water jet is also a ranged spell attack, but is also a siege weapon damage. I knew I could work this out. Good. Right. As it surrounds the ship, suddenly its head sort of forms out of the watery mass over the deck of the ship and just almost like vomits water aggressively into the deck of the ship. It's going to try and destroy the mast with the first hit.
We've already lost the helm. We already can't move.
That is a 16 to hit the mast.
It's...
Oh,
What?
sorry, I think I might be able to fix the helm.
You have mending.
I do have mending in the camp.
Takes a minute, and by this point the ship might be...
time. Harlach has can mend things, but it's kind of urgent issues we've
5,
got
10,
going on.
13, 15...
Yeah, it won't be the first thing on his mind.
16, 18... 36 points of damage to the sails. Sure.
Not quite, because it was half before, is it? Yeah, it was half before.
It was half before, because I used melee and I shouldn't have done.
No, not quite.
Not quite. It's sort of jets out and blasts into the sails, trying to tear them asunder, and they're whipping horribly in this watery breeze that is much, much higher to hit the sails, so I'm just going to count that as a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 10, 17, 34 on the second.
Oh.
The entire mast, with this onslaught of water, just spins and cracks and goes flying off the deck of the ship. The deck is doused in water from these sort of like regurgitations of water. The ship is being destroyed, and you're all wet. You are all very, very much moist.
I was already wet.
A mending spell is going to be significantly less useful on the mast.
Yeah,
It's just the worst log flume ever.
It cannot physically damage the ship with its gigantic body, but it can just jet out bits of water and try and blast holes in the ship as it goes. And the mast is already gone, and the storm is closing in around you as well. Just FYI, it's not going to get any better. Lovely.
Just so happy.
Nate, you see this happening. 'Tis bad.
Yeah. Do I
It's quite peaceful underwater.
if what would my judgment of how healthy the Leviathan is currently be? Like,
Parts of it are frozen into solid chunks. Parts of it have fallen away, like waves of water being drained out of it. It's very clearly not a happy bunny.
but it's not like close to going down, is it?
You've taken off 2/3 of its hit points.
Really? Oh my god. Check us out.
Let's fuck it up.
Come on, Nate.
Oh,
Okay.
Hang on. It has to roll against the Casmae's drone effect.
Oh, it does. It does.
I mean, it's not attacking the Casmae, just to be clear. It doesn't give a shit about that.
Constitution 12.
Con 12.
Yeah, has it made a saving throw yet? If not, it has disadvantage. Or
No,
has it-
hasn't made a saving throw. This was good.
okay.
Disadvantage on the saving throw.
Sorry, it has minus a d4.
Minus a d4. No, that's less good. Right, okay.
It
It
is
has
less
a
good.
ridiculous con save.
I'm sure.
I have rolled... that's a plus 10. So that is 22 minus 3. 19?
Aha! No, it's the 12 you had to guess.
Okay, there's a droning around it, but no, it's not affecting it at all. Sorry.
Seems fair.
Nate, back to you. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm going to try something potentially stupid.
I love potentially stupid.
I'm not getting any closer to it. So I'm going to cast Sleep at 6th level on it, which is 15d8.
Wow.
So give us a sec.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
7.
I love that you've made a character who has to use these bizarro spells at high levels to have any
Well.
effect. Great.
I mean, even if you roll max on that, isn't that only like
Oh, wait, hang on.
120?
Yeah.
I mean, that would put me to sleep.
It's alright, you can target a small area, and you target the bit that the Leviathan is in, and you don't target other people. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Is it how many hit points it has left?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, then that's
Okay.
great.
I'm going to. I'm using the
Dice
D&D
roller, yeah.
dice roller. Many dice on my screen. 62.
It's not enough. No.
No.
Sorry.
Shake.
Does it get drowsy at least?
That
Like-
wouldn't put me to sleep. just for reference at the moment.
I rolled like 13d8 on an attack in a recent game and used it on Beyond, and my whole screen just went as it tried to maintain it. Yeah, cool. I'm afraid that has no effect. Sorry, Nate.
Well. Hey ho.
I mean, it's good to know. It's got more than 60 hit points left.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done then, I think.
Okay. Cal. The warlock is still there.
Yeah, I don't like the warlock. Can I metagamily ask, have other people got things to do for which getting rid of its legendary resistances would be useful? Or is that a sort of futile
thing? If it's got, it's got more than 62 hit points, but I can do more interesting things.
The ship has currently stopped in the middle of the storm closing in around you, which is going to start affecting the ship at some point. Like, this situation is not a good one to be in. You need to get out of its clutches somehow.
Just going to put this out there. If I can cast Phantasmal Force, we can rope it and we can use it to pull us to the island.
Oh, that's brilliant. Let's do that.
Okay, in that case, I'll...
Hopefully, we can work out what thing to create.
Does Cal know? Do things have loads of legendary resistances? Like...
Legendary resistance is an in-game mechanic. It doesn't make any sense in real world.
Okay, well, in any case...
It just isn't affected by spells because it chooses not to be.
Wow, this legendary creature seems to be resistant sometimes.
I'm going to try and channel divinity and tell it to F off.
What?
It's not undead.
I have a channel divinity, arcane abjuration. Is it an elemental?
Cool.
It is indeed an elemental.
Can I make a wisdom saving throw?
Sure.
Fuck off, snake.
No, it's not going to
Snake.
Snake.
Snake. Sorry. It rolled a 25.
Doesn't even have to use it up, and then it's wasted. Okay. That was my action.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to say to the warlock, your guard is really annoying. And I'm going to bonus action just healing word myself a little bit. Just like, ow.
My god will drag you beneath the waves. This pirate's very melodramatic.
You shake the fist when they do it.
Yeah, definitely.
The one with the pasty in.
Milk.
I think I'm just going to... If I blast it with a repelling blast and move it 10 feet away, will it move?
Yes. Repelling blast doesn't have any weight restrictions or size restrictions.
Well, where would it go? It's everywhere.
We'll work that one out if you hit it.
Okay. Then I'm going to do some traditional Eldritch blasting. For this classic
I
spell.
suppose if it's all wrapped all around us and you repelled it in the direction we want to go in...
Yeah.
Intriguing. Has to move away from you, though.
Yeah, sure, but I could just, if it's everywhere, then I can just rotate myself, right, as the center of that axis. Yeah.
Go on, just
okay. First one is a 25. Second one is a 25.
Yes.
Third one is a 21.
All three of them hit, yes.
Okay, so the Leviathan has moved 30 feet in some direction or other.
I'm going to say it pulls off the deck of the ship as these Eldritch blasts push it away, up and away, and it sort of rears up like a cobra, and it's sort of over the top of the ship now, having been blasted basically upwards and away. How much damage do you do?
A mere 18, but enjoy.
18 points of damage. I mean, more of it is sort of splashing away at the side. No, Nate's spell still want to put it to sleep now. But, yeah.
So the Casme would have made a charisma roll at the end of its turn. Just FYI.
Is it a charisma check, or is it a...
saving throw.
I thought it was a wisdom saving throw. It doesn't matter, I'm going to roll it.
It's
That's a 4 and a 1, so it's still here.
Okay, then if it could repeat its activities from last time...
Sure, absolutely.
Which I will do on your behalf.
Absolutely.
That was a 23 to hit.
Yes.
So, okay. Oh, Christ, so many dice at this level.
Yes. Yes, so many dice at this level. That is correct.
Crazy. 20 piercing damage as the proboscis pierces through the layer of the swirling water. And
reduced by half because it is non-magical.
Sure.
And then the necrotizing damage.
31 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Lowering its
now
HP
Nate
by
could
the
put it to
same amount.
sleep.
Yeah, get fucked, snake.
Says Milk.
Interesting. It doesn't have a lot of hit points, and it does have it has intelligence of 2, but it does have very high wisdom, which is it's smart enough to know when it can't do anything. But it doesn't want you to leave. Interesting. But it's broken you. The ship can't go anywhere. Does it know that? I'm just going to make a couple of rolls. Sorry.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Am I doing?
What is my motivation?
Okay,
Yes.
then this is what we'll do. I like this.
And scene.
The Warlock is going to turn and shout something in Aquan on their turn. It is their turn now. And is going to... No, that would kill the Warlock. The Warlock is going to shout something in Aquan and then just drop their sword, kneel down and praying to the Leviathan as it uses a legendary action on its turn to vanish back into the storm again, which is still encroaching on either side of you, moving ever closer towards the sides of the Bluebottle, which is currently stuck.
Birthday.
Wow. Rude.
Sorry.
Oh, good. But,
We were going to kill it.
You were. But it can move. It has a legendary action of movement, so it's going to move into the storm and vanish away from all of you, not being affected by the storm in any way. As it moves away from all of you, and the Bluebottle is currently scuttled in the middle of these two storm fronts, slowly closing in on either side. That's a good place to take our break. So join us for the second half and see if the crew can get out of this mess in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Boo.
Bye.
Boo. Boo.
And welcome back, everybody. So, we're in the middle of a climactic fight between the crew of the Bluebottle, the erstwhile Bluebottle. I mean, it's still the Bluebottle, it just doesn't have a mast anymore. Or a steering column, for that matter. Well done, P. And the Leviathan that has retreated back into the elemental storm around the Netherese floating city of Aeoliand. You can see the city. You've only just started entering this channel between the two storm fronts that is slowly closing in. And I think for a second you all breathe and take a moment as the Leviathan vanishes back into the storm. But the ship is currently adrift. You have no way of steering it or propelling it forward easily. And the storm front is closing in. And if you look carefully, you can see that the Leviathan is just beyond the edge of the storm, just waiting for you all to come a bit closer, just waiting.
How many
its moment.
feet is that?
20?
It's probably about 30 feet away from you, the edge of the storm, but it is getting closer and closer. But to hit it would be, you can't see it. You can't, to attack it, you need to,
right.
we're talking very difficult to hit at this point, and if it senses any sense of danger, it's going to move away again. It does have survival instincts.
Anton?
Its psychic damage might not be too great.
Before we start having a conversation, can I just say that Cal just looks at the warlock kneeling and praying in front of her, looks down and says, "Your god has abandoned you. How does it feel?" And then just walks past to have a conversation.
My god will have you all in the afterlife.
Well, it's a bit of an odd threat, actually.
Yes.
Can we throw him
We need
We're the reason your god just fled.
Anton,
we need a way to move the ship.
Anton,
Sorry.
the flying plan.
Hey?
Could we return to the flying plan?
Hey?
Deja vu.
Lorraine, can you cast flight?
Hang on, let me check. Hey, yeah.
Alright, sort that out for Pete, and then I run up to the ship's wheel and start trying to cast Mend on it.
That's not how. Right, no, look. Harlock!
Lorraine will turn to you and go, do you want me to come with you?
No, because then you'll stop concentrating on the spell, and then we'll both fall to our deaths. You just stay here, safe.
All right.
Try not to get hit by anything. In fact, I will cast Sanctuary on Lorraine.
Thanks, I guess.
Don't do anything aggressive.
All right. And they will cast Fly on you.
Hooray! That's fun.
I have 2 thoughts.
Nate, go on. The Nate was there too. Frost just goes.
No,
yeets himself up into the storm.
1, I could protect the ship from the Leviathan by attacking it when it is nearby. 2, I could try and pull the ship from the front of it whilst flying.
Do we have any other ideas for getting this thing moving? Also, Harlock, please help Anton with the steering column. He's going to fix it wrong.
Harlock's already crouched by the steering column trying to fix it as Anton runs up.
Right, thank you.
It's been sheared through. It'll take hours.
I'm sorry, it's a very sharp sword.
Will it? Shite.
So meanwhile,
Damage.
Nate in the water has pulled out his kazoo and has to kick it and
Wet kazoo.
blow all the water out of it.
Yeah.
And then just goes and casts protection from good and evil on himself.
Yep.
And then wild shapes into a giant octopus.
Sure. Yeah.
And swims around the sides of the boat, grabbing what ropes he can.
Yep.
And waves to the crew and does it very much a come on over here. With tentacles.
Yep. Okay. And do you start trying to pull the ship?
Starting to. Yeah.
What is your octopus's athletics modifier?
Now I get an advantage on athletics. Is it advantage because of my blade song?
It's acrobatics, sure, not athletics.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Surely the modifier is +8 though, right?
My athletics is only +3.
My athletics is +8. I'm going to go and try and help.
Okay, so if you start grabbing ropes and you and the octopus start pulling together, I will let one of you roll with advantage, because that is basically what's happening here. Help is being provided as you start trying to drag the ship forward.
Shall I roll?
It's an athletics thing, yes.
24.
P and the octopus, that's a kid's book. P and the octopus start slowly pulling the hulk of the Bluebottle forward, and it is slowly being dragged forward, but you're not getting up a huge amount of speed. You're maybe going 5 foot around, and as you are pulling the ship slowly forward, just dragging it endlessly, the walls of this storm are closing in almost faster than you're pulling the ship. This isn't going to be enough to get you out of it before the elemental storm closes in completely again.
Is the corridor all the way through the storm?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Can any of you make this go faster? Nate and I are doing a fantastic job down here, but there's only so much.
Would you like to be a sperm whale, P? They have quite a nifty swim speed.
What?
That's a no from P.
If someone else was a sperm whale, would that?
Could you make someone else a sperm whale to join us? Then there'll be 3 of us pulling.
How strong is a sperm whale?
We'll make it.
Do you mean how strong? You mean what's its?
Why don't you turn yourself into a sperm whale?
But just because I'm up here, I'm getting dry.
Turn Melanoe into a sperm whale.
+8 is it strength mod?
Yeah, same as Priest. So I would say you could increase the ship's speed by having a sperm whale drag it. Sure.
Fine. I will turn Melanoe into a sperm whale.
Okay. Melanoe floating in.
Off the ship first. Other way around. Off the ship, then.
Yeah, fine, no problem. You get Melanoe over the side and turn her into a sperm whale, and as she does, she lands in the water quite heavily and will take her up and start pulling. And with a sperm whale and P and and Nate all dragging the ship, you will, looking at the way the storm is closing and the canal is, how wide the canal is, you'll be able to get the ship out before it closes completely. So it looks like you've managed to stop this from happening as the ship slowly is dragged forward into the center of this storm, into the eye. From the wall of storm around you, you do hear another very low, ominous, angry rumble. Clearly, the Leviathan has realized that its prize is getting away and is not happy about it. What's everyone doing before anything happens as the ship is being dragged? You're now about halfway through the canal.
Keeping an eye out for it.
Okay.
How long is it going to take?
You've already got another 5-10 minutes of dragging through the canal because you're about halfway and it was closing in 10 minutes, so you'll be very tight on, but you'll get there. You'll manage to pull it through as the storm closes in. Is anyone holding anything, or anyone waiting for the Leviathan to do anything?
Well, can I see it?
Every now and again, you will catch a glimpse of it in the storm front. On the side it went through, it's on the left-hand side of the ship.
As we were going through, you said we could see it through the storm.
You can just about see it in the storm if you want to. Yes, it is keeping itself attack rolls against it would have disadvantage. It is trying very hard to stay out of harm's way, but also it's frustrated at all of you for this.
Is it within 60 feet though?
Yes.
I can mind spike it then, because that's reaching within its mind.
Okay.
And then I'll know where it is for a while.
Is it an attack roll to do that? Or is it saving throw?
I think it was.
It is a saving throw.
I think it was immune to psychic damage last time, Niall, just for reference. I think I used a smite on it and it didn't do any damage and it didn't take the effect.
No, it did damage, it just didn't take the effect because it's immune to being frightened. It's not immune to psychic damage.
Oh, well, you didn't let me roll the psychic damage.
Oh, sorry about that.
I can pop this a few times as well.
Okay. Do you want to say you do it once and I'll roll the saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of saving throw is it?
It's a whiz mod, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just double check.
I just rolled it.
Okie dokie.
So I have the number.
It is a whiz mod, yes.
Cool. It rolls a 21. It realizes its mind is being tangled with, and it moves further away, and you can't see it anymore. It is keeping greater distance.
Is it within 120 feet?
You don't know. You can't see it anymore. It's moved too far into the storm.
Okay.
Could I have thrown a sword at it while it was nearby?
Make me an attack roll with disadvantage.
So he's just like, piss off, snake!
Yeah. Throw a shoe!
I rolled 2 2s.
I think at one point you scythe the sword in where you think it is, and it just passes back to you, clearly not impacting anything. And now you have no idea where it is. It has stopped even
it's
stalking.
nearby.
We don't know. We don't know where it is.
But we could see it when it was close, so...
Anyone else holding anything in case the Leviathan turns back?
I will hold a synaptic static in case it comes close.
Okay, I'm not going to say that if you hold it around and it doesn't come off, it will do that. But if you...
So, if I see it again, I don't know.
Red?
Yeah.
Is synaptic static concentration?
No.
Is it not? Amazing.
No, it's just like a fireball.
Okay. Right. Well, if you're holding a synaptic... Anyone else holding anything? You're holding attacks in case it gets close, so you just...
Sword.
Sort of tense moment, holding off in case you see it.
Brian, can you locate creatures like I can?
I've not prepared it.
Alright, that's fine, neither have I. We shrug simultaneously.
I will use my telescope to try and see it.
Okay.
That is... that's a 28.
Okay.
And I will...
Go on. No, you first.
No, carry on.
Looking around through the telescope into the wall of storm that is inching ever closer as the ship inches ever closer, and you're about 3/4 of the way now, and you're feeling a bit like, might make it, like this is going to be tight, but you might make it. You sort of put the telescope down, realizing you can't see anything in the storm, but as you put it down, you catch a glint of something, and looking through, you think it might be beneath you.
Nah, that's not good. I think it might be underneath us.
But it's made of water, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
A sort of vague, sort of
hiding in the first place,
snaky sort of weirdness to the water underneath you.
I can't see it enough to try and gain any insight into its defenses, though.
No.
Throw the sword down?
Sure, maybe attack roll disadvantage.
mean, being in the water, I'm keeping an eye out.
Well, I lose
as well.
a natural 20, but that's a 33.
Cool. Nate, you look below the ship and you can see the Leviathan. You can start to see how it is sort of coming out of the storm underneath and trying to coil its way up. You're currently an octopus. But P, you just looking down, see what Cal has. If Cal shouts out, it might be beneath us. Do you just chuck your sword into the water?
Yep.
Cool, go for it.
I did, I rolled a 33.
33. Yeah, you hit it. Roll the damage.
I will smite at 2nd level.
What?
Pete blind throws, one shots it.
It's got very low hit points right now, but also it's got 3 creatures off the deck of the ship that are not protected by the ship at the moment.
15, 21, 29, 37, add 5, 42. 42 points of damage.
It had 32 hit points.
Yes.
Baby.
As you throw your sword into the water, there is another thunderous rumble and almost a shriek as the sword comes back to you. And the water around you suddenly calms for a second. Nate, you get this very weird sort of feeling going through you, like a great many thousand voices crying out in pain, and then suddenly silence. And looking around, you can't see any sign of it anymore. You have no idea what happened to it.
Think I did something.
Where
to
is
the water.
Is it dead?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I kicked it. Is it dead?
You have no way of knowing.
it again?
I mean, Nate, you would know if a Leviathan was destroyed.
Yeah.
You don't so much destroy a Leviathan as you dissipate it, and it'll reform back in the elemental plane of water. Like it is, they are forces of nature. As you
So
all
is this storm? Sorry,
as you all look around, the storm
So
around
like,
you. Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, this is sort of, what Nate's meant to do with his life, return these kind of creatures to the elemental plane. So he's like, this is, great.
And
good.
Looking around you, the storm itself is starting to dissipate. It's starting to fade away a little bit, and looking around, the elemental storm that was controlling this whole area of water is not encroaching on your space anymore. If anything, it's starting to fade away. Slowly.
Anton's gonna run to the front of the ship and like shout at P. He's like, P, I didn't think we could do it, but we did it. I genuinely didn't think but we did it.
Yeah.
Well, you mainly did it, but we did it.
No, we all did it. It was a group effort. Great.
Prosperous, remind me to listen to more of your plans.
You say to the flying paladin who threw their sword at water.
I'm not sure that was so much a plan as sort of throwing the sword at things, invisible things.
Anton's gonna start high-fiving crew members and attempt to high-five Lorraine and then Milk
Lorraine
and
goes
just
for a high
everyone
five.
eventually. Yeah.
Hand tingles a bit where you touch the rain.
Stefan, you okay?
Well, I've got the wheel. Got it. Just
You did a great job.
I'm very sorry
real good
about
job.
the wheel.
It's the least of our problems.
As
Don't
the
worry about
storm
it.
continues to dissipate around you, you can see that Aeoliant is now just floating in the middle of the sea. This storm wisping away around it, and it's just a floating city in the middle of the water.
Was that what we wanted to do?
Hey.
Lorraine looks at all you. I mean, I didn't think we could do it. This
Makes a big difference. Hey, so who can do that thing where you can send people from far away?
Teleport.
No, speaking.
no one
in
can
the
cast
heads.
sending.
Oh,
Oh, Lorraine can't. Did Lorraine not send Anton?
Lorraine can cast
Lorraine.
sending. I mean, who do you want to talk to?
It's not that I don't trust Nate's friend to come. It's just... I thought we could, now that the storm is gone, it means it's going to be a lot easier for anyone to get here. First off, if we fail to unsinkify anything, then it's a backup for people being able to escape.
Mhm.
Second off, if we succeed in stopping the island sinking, we're still stuck here without a mast or any wood, so we might need a ride.
I mean,
But Nate said he's got mates and that.
sure, I've not met any of Nate's people, apart from Nate, obviously.
point.
So,
Good point.
would you like me to contact the Arcane Brotherhood or
No.
No,
the Lord's Alliance? Or
Do you know any of the Paladins of Shantae? Apart from me, obviously, you know me.
what, a shepherd? No.
Don't say it like that. We're lovely.
No, not like I don't know any apart from you.
Shame.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people I could call Cam,
No,
but
I'm just gonna
Like
say no.
Ghostbusters.
No.
I know people who hunt ghosts for a living. That is a thing.
You know what? Never mind. All of our friends and allies are terrible, apart from, of course, the Paladins of Shantae, who I'm sure are lovely but uncontactable.
Not sure they have much access to ships, thinking about it.
The shepherds.
Guess we'll worry about getting off of here later then.
Can we not, repair the masts?
Need wood for that.
Can we
Maybe.
not?
One
Ask-
crisis at a time?
Yeah, one thing at a time. We'll.
Could you not ask Mistra? She seemed to, do that cool thing with the spell thing. Maybe she'd give you some new masts, if you ask nicely.
And that's not usually how things work with us. It's not like queuing the sunflower seeds, but
Looking
Well,
at
it's working out.
looking
Yeah.
at the city up ahead of you as you're slowly being dragged towards it. Who's got the highest passive perception?
11!
No,
I think it's Cal.
I think it's probably Cal too. But
also,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Oh, 22.
yeah,
Well, maybe it might be me. Sorry. Is it
Possibly.
22?
Cal.
Yeah. Do I see any tall sticks?
No. Looking at the city, you
Yeah.
have a weird moment looking at it where you swear that it moves.
Moves tilty, up and downy, back and forwardy.
It seems to sort of
Over the deep blue sea.
shiver almost.
Like it's cold.
Yeah.
Got out of existence just in a shake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that ain't good. That ain't good. Okay, right, fine. Time pressure.
What's the matter, Captain?
Lorraine
Well, I mean,
might have been right.
if the Leviathan's gone, a lot of the energy the Mythalar was using to hold it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I
Look,
did say there was time pressure.
look.
I forgot about that.
If there's a demi-lich down there, all I'm saying is I used a lot of stuff.
Yeah, still.
And if we need to fight a demi-lich, we could either die or we could sleep.
Huh.
What's the likelihood of the whole city sinking in 8
The
hours?
Leviathan was keeping it up, wasn't it?
Could we
We
try?
used it to draw power into the Mythalar, but if it's gone, that probably caused a feedback loop, which will have meant that it's got a lot more energy, but Calwest can't control it, so it should keep doing what it was doing originally, which was keeping the city afloat, I guess, but I don't know, it's been dormant for a long time, or maybe Calwest has worked out a way to do something with it, I don't know, but
I thought you said Calvis can't control it anyway.
no, he can't control it anymore, he can't attune to it, but if he had an ally or he spent 2,000 years in that chamber, I mean, all sorts of things could have happened.
Why don't we try sleeping and keep watches, and if anything crazy happens, we'll stop sleeping
Nothing
and
terribly
go.
unusual happened.
He's a demi-lich though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, yes,
Well-
if anything
Like,
strange happens.
Strange, yeah.
isn't he just waiting for us? Like, dormant. My understanding is that demi-liches are just sort of
I mean,
not really there anymore. They're
he's
just kind of waiting.
he's sort of there. Like, it depends a bit on, like, he's had a long time, very long time to work out what happens or what doesn't happen. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? As Lorraine says this, the city shudders again,
6.
And as you all watch, it's definitely slowly starting to rise up.
Okay, we should get on it before it starts flying.
Like it's rising out of the water slowly, but it is
That's
rising
what-
out of the water.
Because Lorraine said that the Mythalar should carry on doing what it was always supposed to do, which was which was flying the city. Didn't. Yeah, cool.
It's slowly
cool.
starting to it's slow. Like you can see water is being dragged out from parts of it, but you're getting close enough now that you can see this happening.
Can you not go any faster down there?
I was about to say I try and swim a bit harder.
Let's try and swim a bit harder.
Tentacles splashing.
If you all drag a bit harder, you're moving the ship towards, and you're now floating over the city, but you can see that all of it is now ever so slowly. Like, it's not like flying out the water. It is very, very slowly righting itself and pulling itself out of the water. As the ship moves forward, you can see that the people, all of the islanders, all of the remaining Netherese people are running around their houses, desperately grabbing things as parts of their homes are now suddenly under the water as the city starts to right itself, or parts that were water, like fish farms, are suddenly being dragged out to sea, and everyone's desperately trying to grab hold of things and work out what they're going to do. You're all now in a position,
saving the day.
You're all in a position now where you can arrive with them and arrive at the sort of harbour space, but the ship's about to be permanently landlocked on a floating city if you don't do something.
The city is going to go into the air, right?
Yes.
City's going to.
It looks like it's floating upwards, yes. Moving to float upwards.
Oh, man.
Should we get off and leave the ship on the water?
I'm going to jump off the boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave the crew? They don't need to be on the city.
We can leave the crew. Is there anyone from the city who's been washed into the water?
Yeah, a couple people, yeah. They appear to be swimming out trying to grab some of their belongings that are being washed out, because at the moment the amount of water that's being displaced is sizable. Like, there's huge waves passing over some of the sort of shore part that they had, which is already clearly sinking under the water a little since the time you were there, but everything's being moved around and displaced quite rapidly.
Okay, but the ship can, the Fanrick and Co can get them, because they've got a rowboat, so...
Yeah.
As long as we get ourselves onto this.
I will say, to save a lot of rolls and a lot of complicated working out who does what when, if you all want to get off the ship, get Fanrick and the crew to help out with getting people using the rowboat, getting the ship close enough to get them all onto it, you can...
I'd be helping as Octopus as well.
Sure, that's fine. So. Yeah. Over the course of the next 15 minutes, half hour or so, you are able to get everyone onto the ship and get yourselves onto the city as it does rise out of the water and is going to be floating slowly upwards. During this, I'm going to say fracas, it's not like a melee, but it's just running around, grabbing people, make sure everyone's on board the ship. Like, the Bluebottle can hold all the people, that is fine, but it's going to be weighed down. But it can't travel particularly well. Cal, as you're running around grabbing people, and as people are grabbing you, Fanrick is going to grab you in this process. What are your orders, Captain? What do you want us to do when you're...
If things go well, we'll either come back down here or be able to control things.
Right.
We're gonna leave you here. If you can get away, if you can get in contact with anyone, if you can get these people to safety, do it. If not, we'll try and come back for you.
Nate's running by at that point. You told your family where this was going on, didn't you?
I trust the fog.
The Octopus just tentacle salute.
Well, Captain, if worse comes to worse, we'll wait here. There's quite a bit of food from the island that's been saved, so we can just survive here, wait it out, and if necessary, someone will arrive at some point. Best of luck.
Tell everyone they did a good job, or whatever.
Thank you, Captain. He goes in for he does the little hand thing of am I going in for a hug, and then doesn't.
Would you like to
only
well, no, I just because of you.
Reaches out for a handshake.
Right, no, it's hand and Because
The first time you physically touched your first mate in 20 years. Thank you, Captain.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. If we don't come back, she'll have a great captain. Because you're that's something.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, look, the city's rising.
Okay, I should go. Yeah.
Fine.
So much. Oh, cool. What? It's fine.
All of the islanders and your crew are on board the Bluebottle, as what's left of it, and you get onto the city. As you're all on it at this point, it does clear the water, and as it clears the water, it starts to rise a bit faster. The weight of water now off it, and it's now rising about 5 feet around, just slowly rising into the sky. As you're all standing in the center of this city, the ship beneath you, as it rises, as the city rises away from it. Lorraine with you, obviously. What would you all like to do? You are on Aeoliant as it starts to float into the sky once more. A Netherese city in all its glory.
What's your calculations that the Mythal will keep having a feedback and not plummet for how long?
I mean, there's no reason it would stop. No. It's doing what it's probably reset. It's probably trying to get itself to a sensible height, and then it probably stopped there, I guess. I mean, if it's gained enough power over the last 2,000 years, then it can probably hold itself aloft forever if it needs to.
So we can wait for a night?
Presumably. I mean, I don't know if it's going to stop or how high it'll go or where it's going to go. It might travel.
Is there anything in this city, magic-wise, any artifacts or anything like that we could use to stop your master?
When I left here, it was like just under 2,000 years ago. Like, I don't know what's left, if anything's left. I have no idea.
Aye, but if there was, can you remember anything that might be useful?
We can take
We've
a look.
got a whole city to look at, and you know it better than anyone.
I mean, we can take a look, but sure. If you take a bit of time looking around, the city's been cleaned out multiple times, and there's nothing of any value left on the top surface where nothing's going to attack you. Like, there's nothing up here.
Yeah. Laboratory-wise, like where we went and we found the sword, we found your
You
orb,
went through
we
the main
found...
laboratory. That's where we kept all the valuables. I mean, unless they belonged to a wizard who probably took them with them when they left.
Wait,
No vault or anything like that.
when we went
No,
through
they were all in use.
When we went through the laboratory, weren't there those circles that let you short rest and get all your magic back? Couldn't we use those if there's time pressure?
I mean, we could.
Definitely.
Probably the best way.
Magic's the real issue here, isn't it? Not hit points. I mean, I could use a short rest, but I can. Everything else is fine.
That sounds brilliant.
That sounds like a great idea.
You do all note, as the ship is rising, it's not just rising, it's also rising and it's clearly travelling. It is moving somewhere, you don't know where.
Cal's just like looking off the edge, just at the Bluebottle, just looking really small and mastless and far away.
Come over and like put my arm around your shoulders. We'll find him again.
I can't even pretend to be a captain anymore. I don't have a ship. I'm just an adventurer now.
I mean, technically, as long as you intend to go back to them, you're still the captain, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right.
I will transform my outfit into a Bluebottle ship onesie, complete with undamaged mast and Bluebottle front. Anton's face frontispiece with a little hood, and just kind of jangle my bells.
Why is my face on the front of the boat?
It was a
Ship.
thing.
It's a ship. It's not a boat anyway.
Are you all going to head to the laboratories under the city? Are you all going to short rest in the spaces where you can regain? And are you then going to try and go
to the door?
Try and go to the door?
The door, our nemesis.
Door, yeah.
Once
The
again,
main enemy of this campaign.
The door!
Bar the Kraken,
There is no Kraken.
I can't wait for the Kraken insert.
Just gonna open that door and there's just gonna be a
Kraken.
big crocodile.
I've been here this entire time.
It was me. I summoned the Leviathan. I turned Gala.
As you all head through the city and head beneath it and head to the laboratory, and again, for brevity, we're not going to go through like trying to deal with living spells or anything. That is just you're all very high-powered adventures, and you'll be able to avoid things with pass that trace and so on. You can all short rest in the laboratory, and that counts as a long rest for regaining spell slots, but it doesn't count as a long rest for regaining hit points or long rest abilities. So I trust you all. Sort that out accordingly.
They're so big.
Are you rolling table shakers to get your hit points back?
Yes, I am.
Nice. As you are all resting in the laboratory, and you can't see outside, you have no idea. It has definitely gotten colder. You are aware that it is colder in this laboratory as well, as you have flown up, and you don't know where you're going. As you are all resting in the space, Anton Lorraine will sort of gesture for you to come and chat to one side, if you will allow it.
I walk over and pat him on the shoulder. And...
So, here we are.
Aye.
Look, things in there are going to get weird.
Aye.
Like, Calabasas have more time to practice on us. I have no idea what else we're going to face in there. If it comes to it, I've got a little something up my sleeve. If it comes to it, take me out.
Alright, do you want to explain what that is? You want me to trust you? Go on, here's the moment of trust. You tell me exactly what the plan is. I kill you, then what?
I've got a spell that goes into effect when I die.
Which has?
A sunburst.
Oh, nice. So you'll just...
Yeah, if it comes to it. That might take it all out, take it all down, stop this whole thing.
What, the whole mythal and everything?
If we need to, yeah.
Hey. You know what? Let's leave that for very, very last resort, okay?
I'm just telling you, if I go down, that is the easiest way to fix all of this. You've got the ability to fix all of this if you just go for it.
Alright, buddy, but there's also the potentiality that I might have my, hands full. You can snap your own neck as well.
Nice. Cuddly, cuddly Anton.
Insight check. Any of it. Any of it.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Right then. Well, worst comes to worst, you get right up to Carlos, and you give your head a little pop.
Rules of this game mean I can't do that, but
Alright, well, there's 5 of us. One of us will kill you.
well, maybe you should tell the others about it, because that might be a good way of dealing with this.
Hey guys! Just so you know, we've got a little bomb over here in the name of Lorraine. Apparently, if things go south, we should get Lorraine right close to Calwas, pop a cap in Lorraine's ass, and then...
What happens,
So,
what happens
like, do we
to
get
the
to make that
heart?
decision, or?
This is a very last resort kind of thing.
All right.
Do you not reform round your
Well,
heart? Where?
Hey, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
if I'm destroyed, this spell gets cast, and then I'm destroyed.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Can someone
Insight
else
check
who's
that as
good at
well.
insight check that? I rolled an
Yes.
18.
If they are destroyed, then the spell goes off. That's all they said.
Yeah, but the intention behind that is what else happens. Is why do they,
Yeah, would there be any other... Anything you're not telling us?
Because Peace specifically asked about reforming around the heart, and the response was, "I get destroyed."
It's a live mission.
Does that? Yes. What does that mean permanently? Like Peace specifically asked. I rolled a 24 on insight. What are they?
They don't know. Honestly, they have no idea. But they have this all set up for that.
I have a better plan, which is that we just leave you to the side. And we just leave you to the side. Like you're a really delicate egg. Just over there. Just over there.
You don't want me to come with you?
Well, like...
No, Lorraine needs to help with the firepower.
No, I think you should be there, but like... I don't think we should kill you just to see what happens, because then what happens if you just suddenly like appear inside Anton?
Well, frankly, if a sunburst
is that likely to happen?
I don't know.
Where I am when I die, then that'll probably destroy everything.
They don't know that.
What?
Do you mean all of us as well?
Yeah.
This is a last resort kind of thing, Pete.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, how big is this explosion?
I mean, it's pretty massive.
Right.
If I'm still standing, I can get to you this side.
I mean, I'm not being funny, right? But if you think if this is something you're willing to die for anyway, just bear with me for a sec, right? Can't we just like push you into the room, put like a lightning bolt in the back of your head, and close the door?
That still puts Anton at risk, which was the whole point of doing this, was not to put Anton at risk.
I thought it was to
just to put this one out there. Multiple clones have been made of me. I don't necessarily believe that I'm the only one with Lorion's eyes and Lorion's heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Necessarily help, but
You would be the nearest one, though.
But, well, me and Lorraine were just talking and we were saying that maybe Calwas might have made, well, have you seen the play Multiplicity?
Michael Keaton,
What's
one
a
of his
play?
finest.
One of the finest bards.
You've never seen a play?
Is it like when you draw squares outside and then you like jump between them? I used to do that when I was a kid.
There's like people on stage and they like act out a story.
What's the stage?
Yeah.
Look,
Like
I'm saying that if you need to, you have an option. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think we fight this out. There might be a few of us, and by us...
Can I make a request that we don't use that option until I'm already dead?
Yes. Let's not go with the more death-based plans.
so we'll go with the keeping Lorraine safe from dying and killing us all plan, right?
Keeping everyone alive plan. I like the everyone alive plan.
This was like a last resort. I did preface this with a last resort.
Yeah, so did I. It's a last resort, definitely.
Definitely. Also, like...
Why do you keep saying definitely?
Because Anton says definitely a lot and I'm copying his accent.
Sounds suspicious.
Just saying, I think we're missing over kind of the scariest part, which is freaking me a little the fuck out, but there might be loads of me in there.
Can we paint something on your forehead so we know which one's you?
I don't think I think I'll be the only one wearing my clothes.
Just in case.
No, the
like
clothes
a,
get cloned too.
like a
Yes,
little
and
chicken or something, so we know that it's you.
In a big hen on Anton's forehead. Yeah, that's...
I think the one Anton that's fighting all the other Antons will sort of give it away.
But then that Anton will be fighting the Antons who are fighting that Anton, so then they'll
You
all
want it
be
to be as clear as
fighting.
possible. Yeah. It's going to be a...
Oh, you think they might like try and throw us off? Yeah, that's a good point. Actually.
Guys, I'll be the handsome one.
I'm going to draw chicken in mud. There you go. There we are.
It's more dust than mud in here.
Okay.
You just need to add water to dust to make it mud.
Your hand's already viscous anyway. Like, yeah.
Have some classic branded milk ooze.
I'll take the spit though.
It's all much the same thing.
It's not spit, it's mucus.
Well, I think now we are relatively prepared.
Um,
Do you think we'll be able to open the door this time?
Well, I've got the key.
I got the key. Yeah.
Sounds handy.
Wasn't that the whole point of getting them?
Hey, got the key.
Sometimes I just lose track. It's just, do we do a lot of things?
We do. It's true.
I'm on holiday.
Anyway, inverted commas at this point, P, right? Mojitos on the beach, you said.
You said mojitos on the beach.
That's true. You said, what's a mojito and what's a beach?
You know what a beach is?
Well,
I don't know.
guess-
What is a mojito?
It's a drink made of mint.
No, I know what a mojito is.
Looks Chris.
Are you all going to head to the door?
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna. Just,
Wish we had a plan.
so it's out there, so I don't feel guilty later. I'm gonna put my last polymorph spell in Melanoa's ring, because I just love it too much.
Can I confirm that our first plan here isn't necessarily the fighting and the killing? It's the finding out what Kalwaz is up to, how to make the Mythlar work. I'm assuming there'll be fighting and killing because Kalwaz doesn't sound too friendly, but that's not the
Okay.
aim of the exercise,
How
right?
about if I distract Kalwas while Anton tries to figure out the Mythalar?
That's nice.
Your famous dance routine.
No,
wish-
Nate's famous dance routine.
Nate
Yep.
has a dance routine?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not exactly a distracting dance routine. That's not really the point.
I find it quite distracting. It's quite attractive to look at, especially underwater.
Oh, thanks very much.
Sometimes
sounds
you
good.
stick your legs out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll,
Okay.
well, if we
Understanding a
survive,
little bit more about P.
yeah.
Like
You guys
when
can
you
get
stick
some-
your leg out.
This calls for mojitos, which we don't have. I don't know, Captain. It sounded to me like we were expecting to have to stop this person in their tracks rather than.
I mean, I'm all for that as well. Is the Mythlar fine? Is everything fine apart from that they're there, and if they're gone, then we can do what we want
Well,
and just get rid of
I
them?
guess we want to take the city somewhere where, like, people here can leave if they want, maybe go somewhere else. Or
Yeah.
I mean, how about
do we like own this city now? Is that how this works?
Well, technically they
No.
own the city. Can we touch the Mythalar? Does it have buttons?
The Mythalar is like a contained sun.
Oh, like you. Ha ha.
Anyway. And if you touch it, you'll take a lot of damage.
Is that all of it or bits of it?
It's all in one place. It's contained.
Just the sun or all of the Mythalar?
The Mythalar is it's held in a magical cradle, but the Mythalar itself is the.
Oh,
How
like
does
But the
anybody-
controls require some sort of arcane knowledge, right?
You just have to attune to it.
Do you have to touch
So
it?
myself or Nate will be able to do that.
No, you don't have to touch it to it. No, you can just be close to it and concentrate on it.
Oh, I see. So nobody touched the Mythalar?
How long does it take to attune?
About 6 seconds.
Unless we want to kill Orion, in which case we can just push them into the Mythalar. Double sun.
What can the Mythalar do?
Well, if you control it, you move. You can choose where the city goes. You can control it, basically. You can change the weather around it. You can use it to do more. Like its potential is basically limitless, but you got to spend time with it to learn all of its tricks.
What about instinct?
I mean, you could give it a go and see what happens. Your DM says, smiling.
All right.
Anton, please don't
Nate?
crash this city while we're all on it.
Nope. 2 people can control it at once. Or
Yeah.
use it at once.
More than one person can be attuned to it at the same time.
Okay, Nate. Idea. 2 of us get to that, and let's just freeball it. See if we can use
Yeah.
it to do any damage to Kalwas, to any particular armies. Let's. I just want to say, guys, please, if you see a frozen version of me, don't kill that one.
Right.
What if there's more than one? Will there only be one frozen version of you?
Lorraine.
I mean, He couldn't have made another time displaced clone. He doesn't have access to any magic.
Okay, so
We're gonna
don't
try
hit the
real
one
hard.
with the chicken on their forehead. Do not hit the one that's frozen. All the others are fair game.
We're going to try and neutralize everyone in there who's trying to interfere with the Mythlar or with whatever Anton's doing. We're not trying. We're going to hope for the no one dies. It's going to be great. What could possibly go wrong?
Don't why did you
Everything.
say that?
I mean,
Wait,
a lot
You're
of
tempting
things.
fate.
Are you all stepping down? I mean, the corridor that was at an angle that you swam down is now flat, so you can just walk down that corridor.
It's much more pleasant here when there's no water, I have to say.
That's true. Or
No.
It was
married.
designed that
Creepy.
way.
Creepy and horrible.
As you make your way down to the central torus that was there beforehand, there are holes in it, as you are aware, because it's where water was coming in and where people were making holes in it. And as you walk into the central torus, you can see beneath you there are certain cracks and rents in the floor. The city's now definitely flying over land.
Oh, it's
Ooh.
moved.
What kind of land?
From the brief snatches that you can grasp by looking at it, it looks to be grassland, hills. Like, you can't get a lot of detail from small cracks in the ground, but it's definitely land. It's not sea anymore.
Well, whatever he's doing it quick. Just get a bit of a jog on, eh?
Maybe it's trying to get back. I mean, for flying over the Sword Coast right now, it could be trying to go back to the Anau Rock. That's where Netherese used to be.
What's
Where's
there
that?
now?
That's a massive desert.
Oh, good. Open that door.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, let's get that.
I would like to channel divinity just before the door is opened.
Sure, no problem. As you head up,
I'd like to. Sorry. I'd like to cast blow on myself.
just before the door opens.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd like to put on a cocktail dress. Sorry.
Sure. As you're making your way up towards the door, crossing the various walkways, it is like you're high up enough that it is definitely cold. There is a bracing chill to everything. As you make your way towards the door, Lorraine takes the key out from the necklace around their neck and goes, everyone good to go?
Oh, yeah.
Anton's just shifting around in weird, like.
Anyone else got anything they want to prepare or precast before you walk into the room?
Done it already.
Lorraine will step forward, take the key off, and put the key in the lock and open the door. This humongous door, as the key is turned, there's a very ominous clunking noise, and you can all feel the sort of magical energy that dissipates as the key is placed in and turned. And as it is, the door slowly opens outwards. And you're immediately like, ugh, it's incredibly bright in there. The room in front of you is maybe 50 foot square. It's not big. In the center, taking up a good third of the space inside here, is, as described, a sort of cradle. It's got a sort of, it's all circles and spheroids, basically cupping and surrounding this, what looks like, you can't look at it directly, glowing orb in the center of the space. It shines out very brightly and makes the whole space very difficult to see in. Notably, it makes the whole space very difficult to see in. And as the door opens, a figure is going to step out and move towards you as you all sort of move up towards the doorway.
With legs?
With legs, yeah.
Are they sexy?
Boy. That's what I'm finding sexy.
P
No.
mate.
Hey, mate.
As
Sticking its legs out. Ah.
it has a slow shuffling gait, and as it steps forward, you recognize the features. It also looks like Anton,
Good job we painted that chicken on you.
but
Yeah.
it's definitely undead. It is
Oh no.
like barely holding itself together. It looks a complete mess. And as it shambles towards you, it sort of raises its head towards, just looks at all of you. And as it does, a whizzing small thing buzzes around it, buzzes towards you, and a skull. A floating skull just buzzes up to all of you. It has gems in its eyes and just looks around all of you going, what's going on? What are you? Who's? Oh, where are you? Oh, and just floats around.
Right, mate.
About the size of a head. And just floats around all of you and eventually closes in on Anton. Yes, quite well. Then floats around. And you. Floats around Lorraine. You. Yes, well, inevitable, I suppose. Time. Yes. Quite well. And, what now then? You come back? Keep working? Yes. I see we've got power again. Time to do things and touch them. Well.
It's so cute! Can we keep it?
Kalwas?
Yes, then Kalwas. Well, you'd know. Yes. Maybe you wouldn't. Tricky. Odd one. And this skull is sort of buzzing up to you and just like right in your face, just like really right up in your grill. Yes.
I want to look at Lorraine. What's Lorraine's features like?
Lorraine, it looks very. Lorraine is trying to have a featureless expression. They are clearly incredibly tense and nervous.
Carlos, Lorraine's brought us here to kill you. Any particular reason why?
Oh, well, that's...
Buy it dinner first.
That's quite well. Why would you... Why? He floats among the front of Lorraine and all of you. Lorraine just spears Anton with a look. Because you need to be stopped. That's why I locked you in. Yes, quite. Well, I've forgiven you, you see, because time is a funny thing. I've had so much. And he's going to buzz away a little bit, and 1/4 of this room is taken up by what looks like a sort of wizard's study. Everything in this room is bleached. Like, everything, the color is just gone out of it completely because it's been in the presence of this basic sun for a very, very long time. And there are tables and desks, and in the corner there is this strange, almost looks like a tank, and inside is floating yet another Anton.
Oh,
you see 3 other figures in this space doing various things that are all clearly versions of Anton, but they are not. They are deformed. They are like desperate attempts to try and make more versions of this, doing experimentation of some sort, trying to do more things. I've been working on also. It's difficult because you're rubbish. Well, not you. There's no hand. You're rubbish, not you. You're not rubbish, but these versions of us are rubbish. Well, not us, them, but they're all rubbish. And why do you want to kill me? What is going on?
I want to grab Nate's hand and just slowly start walking towards the Mythalar controls.
Can I start walking towards Kalwas? What's wrong with them? They all seem perfectly lovely.
Oh, well, see, they're manual fingers. I haven't got fingers. Not having fingers is bad. You need to have fingers. Fingers are important.
What made you decide not to have fingers?
Well, I didn't have much of a choice in it, really, because I'm out of souls. But then, we found our way in. What are you two doing? Looking over at Nate and Anton just sides.
Oh, they're
just having a look around.
Partners going for a nice walk.
You aren't like any demi-lich I've ever read of, and I want to keep walking the direction I'm walking.
Stay away from that. I know your tricks. And it's sort of slight weird, like, tonal shift very quickly as Carlos moves very directly towards both of you and very physically aggressive at all of you.
Okay. But if you're not a problem, then you shouldn't be worried. Where are we going? And I want to keep walking towards, with Nate in hand, and I want to keep walking towards the Mythalar.
As you step even one step away, it's, don't touch my Mythalar. This horrible, like, guttural voice just comes out of the demi-lich, and you recognize, like, you're a step away from something awful happening here.
See, that sounds a bit like a problem. What's wrong if I touch your Mythalar?
Take it away. He'll take it away. They'll want it. They'll want to take it away.
Who's oldie?
Everyone wants to take it away.
Where are we going to take it?
Even
it's a star. We can't even touch it.
Even they want to take it away.
Look, right? If you're alright, and you're kosher, I'd very much like to work with you. But you're going to have to let me touch the Mythalad to learn things.
Roll a persuasion check.
Shit.
Like, how can we help you if we don't even know what's going on?
Is that advantage? I think that might be advantage.
Oh, well,
that 20.
it can only get better.
Oh.
So, oh well, it was an 18. I rolled a 19, minus 1, 18.
If you control it, what will you do with it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it, Lorraine? What are you going to do with it?
Well, Lorraine doesn't get to control it.
No.
I do.
They're looking. He's looking at you and talking to you. It'll be like last time, won't it? You'll take it away from me. You'll try and take it away from me, won't you?
What happened last time? I'm not Lorraine. I'm Anton. Nice to meet you.
You're going to take it away. I know you're going to take it away. Is anyone watching Lorraine? No one of you mentioned watching
There's
Lorrain,
no way
so
I am.
I'm just checking before I do this.
But I'm passive, but no.
Keeping a close eye on
No, I'm
Calwas.
fascinated by the little talking skull.
The Calwas, seems a bigger threat, yeah.
What did Lorraine do?
Well, Lorraine did this to me.
What?
Right, and then I'm going to look at Lorraine.
Lorraine has moved to the back near the time-dilated clone and is just going to turn around to it.
I dimension door straight to the Mythala.
It's not that far away. It's not that far away.
right.
Standing next to it.
You're standing next to it.
Right, hands straight on. I'm tuning her around.
Don't touch it!
Lorraine is going to
It takes a while
disintegrate
to attune.
the time-dilated clone.
Oh,
No, I don't know what that means.
it's not good.
It means he's trying to kill me.
Oh no.
They're trying to kill me.
They're trying to kill them.
Something.
They're trying to kill me!
Who knows what's happening in this weird time version of
Years of
things, but
academy
something's
training.
happening.
So many Antons, and
Well, disintegrate does more than enough damage.
Should we be rolling initiative?
Depends. Would you use this as an opportunity to start doing a lot of crazy things, or would
I'm
you try and
assuming
calm the
stop.
situation down?
I have very clearly
trying to
written on my
stop.
hand, "Don't harm the one in the tank." Like
Just
that
trying to
is-
stop the rain.
Yeah.
When you're attuning to something, it's not an action, is it? You've just got to be near it.
The way the Mythalar works, you can attune to it as an action, but you have to spend an action attuning to it.
I can action surge and then cast Hold Monster.
You can, but they get a surprise round because none of you saw this coming.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But the action surge finally came in useful.
I think we're going to need to roll initiative.
Let's roll initiative.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to do this. I
They
agree.
get a surprise round, and it's
Fucking Lorraine.
doomed.
Being a piece of shit.
It's tense.
All those insight checks wasted.
I never said, Lorraine never mentioned specifically about not wanting to do this.
Yeah, no, that's
It
fair.
doesn't come up.
Piece
11.
of shit.
11.
Also 11, but with a 3 plus 3.
So,
And
hang
I'm
on.
surprised. I'm very surprised. I thought Lorraine was nice. I was convinced of it.
Okay, so hang on. We've got an 11 from Prosperous and an 11 from Cal. But Cal has a higher initiative modifier. What else have we got?
I got a 12.
A 12 for Anton.
10 from 8.
10 for Nate.
I have 19 from
19 from Milk. Intriguing.
Oof.
Very well. Let's do this. Right. Milk.
Yes.
Lorraine turns and disintegrates themselves. Disintegrates the clone.
Alright,
Gotta be really clear at this point, Chris.
I'm sorry. Lorraine turns and disintegrates the time-dilated clone.
That's the frozen one, right?
That's the frozen one in the tank. It doesn't get a saving throw because it is static, and the spell just annihilates the clone. Just passes through it, and it is torn asunder. It is torn to ashes. It is gone. As that happens, Anton, make me a con saving throw.
Yeah.
Plus 5 because you're near me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cheers. Oh, that's a 90. Oh, no, wait. My plus con is 2. That's a 21.
You feel a sudden strange feeling that you can't quite... You've never felt this before. It is like part of yourself being disintegrated, ripped out, torn asunder.
Oh, so it's
And-
definitely not love. Never mind.
No, it is not. As this washes through you, you have a very odd moment where you feel almost like you're looking at multiple versions of this moment. Multiple situations where this moment happens, will happen. And it's almost like you're seeing various different timelines, various moments, various opportunities, various portents of what the future might hold.
Ooh.
Disappearing. Gone.
Okay.
At which point, Milk, it is your go. I'm going to say that Anton and Nate have moved towards the Mythalar a little bit, and Kalwas is with them. Prosperous, you were moving
Near to Kalwas.
near to Kalwas, so all three of you are sort of in a clump, and Milk and Cal, we didn't set where you were, so it's up to you how you want to deal with this.
I wouldn't have gone near the Mythalar. I was quite genuinely fascinated by the adorable little floating skull. So relatively near there, near Kalwas.
Yep.
But as I see that, then I'm going to attempt two spells, one from me and one from the one in Millennium if my one doesn't work. But I shall attempt Hold Monster, as I'm up first. So that would be a Wisdom 17 saving throw from them.
Lorraine doesn't roll and uses one of their portent dice, and the spell doesn't take effect.
Okie dokie. Moving on, we'll try Millennium and Polymorph.
Okay.
Same save.
Oh, just the polymorph. Does polymorph affect any creature, or is it a humanoid? Interesting question.
Oh, it's any creature, I think.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Let me see. Unwilling creature.
Unwilling creature. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Maybe I should I cast it on Millennium? Is that a bad use of a spell?
Up to you. What is?
I mean, I can help out.
In what way?
I've got a portent dice of 2.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
And I
use
don't
it.
think you can. I don't think you can use it. You can't use a portent dice on a portent dice, can you?
I have looked this up. I looked it up very carefully because I saw this moment coming. There are two schools of thought. Either if there are 2 portent dice used, neither work, or something even stranger happens. It's up to you.
I'll take
baby.
the chance. It's a 2. If we could turn it into a mouse.
Oh, even better, Millennium turns it into a quipper. if they fail.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try it too. I'm going to use it. Burn that portent.
Lorraine's also going to try and use a portent dice on that. Why wouldn't they? As Milk tries to cast a spell, and Anton, you now realize you've seen this coming as well. You know it's not going to work. It's almost like you can, all of this seeing the permutations of time in this context, and as Melanoe also turns and tries to cast a spell at Lorraine, you recognize that you have seen this before, but you recognize you've also not seen it before. At this point in time and the stuff around it feels like it is fractured at this point. As you reach out and try and see this moment, and Lorraine reaches out and tries to see this moment, roll me an intelligence check.
Keep going. Oh, fuck. That's a 9. Is it? No, it's just a check. Yeah, it's 9.
As you both reach out into this moment, all of you in this room hold your heads in agony as time seems to splinter around you, things happening and not happening simultaneously, and you all hold your heads for a second. Can everyone make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Who's within 10 feet of me?
Would that mean if I'd had 5 to the intelligence check?
That's a check, not saving throw. This is a saving
Okay, no
throw.
worries then.
Anton, you need to make this. Just the 4.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
I'm
roll
saying
well.
that
Definitely Nate.
I would say that everyone gets this. 10 feet is a big enough range.
So everyone gets +5.
Everyone gets +5 to this.
27.
Yeah, Prosperous, you are fine.
15.
15?
30.
30? Jesus.
Bizarrely.
29.
29. None of you are affected by this. As you all hold your heads in agony, two versions of events seem to happen simultaneously, and as they do, there is a splintering and fracturing of like reality all around you. Not like Milk's sort of slight warping and wending, which has happened before, but a shattering, like someone has smashed a piece of glass, but it is three-dimensional and everywhere. And you can see all of these rifts in what looks like time and reality all around you. Some of them pass through spaces where you are, but luckily none of you are affected by this. You're just suddenly aware that this chamber around you, magic is awry, reality is awry. This is definitely a bad moment. And you get the sense that if there's any more of these, there could be very serious trouble for everybody. Just a warning of being cautious from everyone.
I've only left, so it's cool. They've only got one.
Milk, do you do anything else on your turn?
That was a lot. Are they now a Quipper?
No.
Oh, then no, I don't do anything else on my turn.
Any bonus actions?
Oh no, wait. I'm gonna. Would I track attacks from Floating Skull if I attempted to put a little bit of distance between me and this fracas?
I'm going to give you this because I think it's quite funny. They don't have a melee attack.
Aww.
It doesn't have a melee attack. What would it do? So there are no attacks of opportunity from Calwas because
it might be an ally as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, who knows? I'm going to run up the wall as far as my movement will allow. And that is the end of my turn.
Okay, as you run away and run up the wall, as a legendary action at the end of Milk's turn, it's the first time it could do anything, Calwas is going to... Yeah. No, you're all in cahoots! Is going to float up into the air. And as they do, there's this puff of strange dust around them, all around them. Can everyone within 10 feet of it, which is definitely Anton, definitely Nate, and definitely Prosperous. And I'm saying Cal could have avoided this. I think that's fair, because Cal wasn't that close up to Calwas. Can you please all make me a Constitution saving throw?
+5 because of P, yeah?
Yeah, +5 because of P.
I rolled a natural 20, so that's a 28 for me.
It doesn't affect you.
15.
10.
Nate, Anton, as you both hold your hands up to your eyes, you are both blinded.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Right.
You can't see a damn thing.
Oh no.
It is now Calwas's turn. Don't let it just suck on their own turn, don't worry, this is the worst part of this day. Right, on its turn, Calwas is going to howl with rage. Can everyone within 30 feet, so this is literally everyone, please make me a Constitution saving throw. Milk, you've run out of the range of Prosperous's aura.
Okay.
25.
You're not affected by this?
20.
You're not affected by this?
Not 20, so 21.
You're not affected by this?
14.
Okay.
Did you add 5, Chamonix?
It's with the +5, yeah.
26.
Nice.
Wow. Cal, as Lorraine floats up and shrieks horribly, everyone is frightened. Lorraine, sorry. As Calwas floats up shrieking, everyone is now frightened of Calwas.
Everyone who's in my aura cannot be frightened.
Okay, so Milk, you are terrified of Calwas. You cannot get physically closer to Calwas on your turn. If you can see Calwas, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and most other things.
Okie dokie.
Cal, you failed the save. You dropped to 0 hit points immediately and collapsed to the ground.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wow, I passed.
You passed and you're frightened, whereas Cal just collapses to the ground.
Oh my god.
My sword can't help. My sword, I can't be frightened, but I can't anyway because of P. And there's nothing there's nothing I can do with it for saving throws. It's only charmed, frightened, or possessed. Boom, thud.
Straight down. Yep. P, you're in melee range of Carlos, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Why?
Because I want to fly away, but that is dumb.
It's not totally in control of its senses, this skull.
Aren't we all in
But everyone's
range?
basically very close to each other, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got an opportunity attack as well. It'll be a disadvantage.
No, you're blind, you can't see. No opportunity attacks if you can't see. That's why it has
shit.
it.
Fuck. Demi bitch.
Go on, fly away.
I dare you. I double dare you.
Cal West knows that you've not been affected by this, and no, it has clever things it can do. It's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He stays where he is. Anton, it is your turn. You are currently blinded. No, sorry. At the end of Calvus's turn, you stop being blinded. It's only until the end of the Demiwich's turn, so you are no longer blinded. You shake this cloud of strange dust out of your eyes, and you can see Calvus floating in front of you, Nate next to you, also shaking his head, Prosperous nearby, Milk half up a wall, and Cal collapsed on the floor behind. Lorraine is still standing next to the tank, and these strange, like, splinterings in reality are now spreading. They're not spreading any further, but they've sort of, at that point, spread out, and this whole space feels like a bit of a minefield at the moment.
I hate to throw problems on ourselves. Isn't a legendary action, doesn't it last until the end of the next round?
No, it lasts until the end of the creature's turn, and it had a legendary action and then had its turn.
Right, okay, got it. Got it.
It's not confusing when it comes to timescales. Cool.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All good.
I put one hand onto the Mythalar to attune to it.
Don't touch the
need to touch
Mythalar.
it.
No,
Don't.
but alright. No,
You
but
don't need
the
to touch it.
controls.
Don't touch it.
Are you sure?
No, I am not sure. I don't
Great.
touch the Mythalar. I stand near the controls to attune to it.
There are no controls. It is just a floating orb inside this thing. There's no like jaws or anything.
And then I turn to Lorian,
Yup.
and using the orb, I cast Hold Monster.
So your
And I
action
just turn
surging.
action surging, and I turn my hand around the orb and try and lock them in place.
They don't have another low portent dice. Another high. They've only got lows now. Sorry, wrong way around.
Do once.
Yeah, they've used their high too. I'm gonna have to roll for it. There's nothing they can do to. Oh, actually, that's not true. They're gonna counterspell.
Yeah.
I do not like this person.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, let's burn them through.
They
Keep them burning through
As they
them
see you
spells.
doing that, they reach out and counterspell your hold monster before it takes effect.
That's cool, baby.
Mhm.
So I still lose the spell slot, don't I?
Yes. They also lose those.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
Because it's a 5th level spell.
Correct.
Up yours.
Cal, it is. Cal, I rolled for it. Cal, it is your turn. Make me a death save.
Fuck.
Oh, I have to do them with actual dice. Okay, what should we go with? Let's go with a nice metal one.
Yes, nice
A
metal one.
pain.
Fine.
Nope. Metal one did not help me. That
Is that
was
a
a
nat
6.
one? Oh, it's a 6.
That was a
Phew.
6.
Okay. Cal, you are unconscious and you are, like, your soul is being torn from your body. You're desperately trying to hold on. You're unconscious, but you hear ringing through your head as you start to slip away, Mistra's voice going, I'm so sorry, please make the right choice, please, we have to. This can't go on. This will tear everything apart, Cal. It's the end of your turn. Prosperous.
Can I reach Cal without going out of...
No attacks opportunity from the Demi-Lich. Has no physical attack.
Yeah. What's your max hit points, Chamonix?
75?
Oh, I didn't use a legendary action. My mistake. No, it's fine. I've got to remember lots of things. I didn't use it.
Reach over to Cal and lay on hands for 30 hit points.
Wow.
Boing.
Okay. You reach over to Cal and lay on hands for 30 hit points.
Can you do that again if we need it?
I can, yes.
Okay, good.
Nice.
I can do smaller amounts as well, but but I've got 30 left. And just be like, get up.
Get up.
We might pull down again, yeah.
No.
And it's not physical attacks, is it?
What's not physical attacks?
Oh, it says target. I'm also going to cast Sanctuary on Cal because she's currently lying on the floor.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Is that your action as well?
Learn Hands is an action.
Oh, right.
Sanctuary is a bonus action.
Okay.
Yes, I just used my turn healing Cal.
Right.
Thank you.
You step back and heal Cal and cast Sanctuary on Cal at the same time. Excellent stuff.
P, holding this group together since session 1.
I know it.
Nate.
Yeah. I think I'm going to attune with the
Mythalar.
Mythalar. Yeah.
So I'm not picking these up. Okay, so you use your action to reach out towards the Mythalar, and you and Anton both, as you reach out towards it, the Mythalar is an incredibly powerful magical object, and as you reach out and you are very aware that it is a huge amount of magical energy that is coursing right in front of you, that you're starting to just, it's like there's a river of rapids just flowing and you are dipping a toe in, and you can almost feel yourself being wrenched along by it. It's an insane amount of energy to be in control of or even touching. Yeah. Any bonus actions?
No, I'm all right. I'm good for the moment.
Noting that P wasn't affected by the cloud of dust, Kelwas is going to target you, P, and just mutter something strange in ancient Netherese as a legendary action at the end of Nate's turn. Make a
What does
wisdom
he
saving
say?
throw.
Because I understand.
It is a curse.
Oh. Sorry, P.
I've rolled a 22.
Cool, you're not affected by this curse.
I'm good at wisdom
Hey.
too.
Yeah.
As long as nobody cracks out the intelligence saving throws, I'm fine.
Fine. But yes, Kelwas tries to curse you and fails, and is clearly quite frustrated at how difficult you are to do anything to. Yes.
Oh! Yeah, could I have used my free action of talking to just be like, Kalwas, we're on your side?
Yeah, of course you can. Sure.
Yeah, I just shout that over out and Kalwas, stop, we're just trying to hurt you.
Oh, I'm haunted by this face forever.
I wouldn't trust you if you
Poor
were
Demi
around.
bitch.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I have eyes!
I have eyes.
I have eyes. It's persuasive.
You know?
Yep.
It's a different face, isn't it? It's got eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, got gems. Got gems for eyes.
Right.
This is what you would look like with no skin on.
Awful. Lorraine is going to...
Rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
Well...
LMG.
Oh, no, that was a joke. I was joking.
They've done what they came here to do.
Are they gonna...
Oh, they're going to peace out.
They have done what they came here to do. Everything from here on in is fine. Yeah, they Misty Step.
Where?
They Misty Step towards the doorway, just
Oh, fuck them, counterspell.
as they try and cast Misty Step to try and get away, you counterspell it.
Where the fuck do you think you're going?
I mean, my job here is done. No more. It's finished.
Looking at Kalwas, hopefully.
I mean, they've kind of got a point.
They can't, if they step away, then they're going to get attacks of opportunity from Everyone, yeah. And there are also, I mean, this is the other thing, there are other things around. I mean, there's other versions of Anton around as well that are not happy. So, yeah. Interesting. Misty Step is a bonus action, but they can't cast another spell.
They've already used the bonus action.
They've already used their bonus action. I'm wondering if they just try and run.
Just try and
Please run
sprint out
past
of the way.
me. Please.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for Peter to chop their head off.
I think they would just try and run. Yeah, they try and run out the door.
Can I take an opportunity attack?
Of course you can.
I'd like to try and grapple them.
Sure.
Yes.
Strength.
Yes. Pretty.
It's a
Yes.
16 from me.
16.
I'm weak as fuck.
Wow, you're lucky.
Oh, they might have like that sweet, sweet mummy strength.
Yeah. That is a 19.
Oh!
They slip out of your grasp and run out the door, and they're running away.
How far have they gone? Are they still visible out the
Oh,
door?
30 feet. They can't dash. Actually,
Okay.
they didn't use their action. No, 60 feet. They've run out the door and they're running away.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they still visible?
Yes. They've run out the door, but you'd have to move a bit to see out the door, but they're running out the door, out the walkways, and they're trying to get away.
Very angry at this point. Yeah.
Quite rightly so. As they run away, all of the four sort of misshapen Antons, the four undead Antons that have been made by Kalbas over this time, are just going to lurch out and start attacking all of you. They have no context point for not attacking all of you. I would say one would have tried to attack Anton. Tried to attack Lorraine as they left. So I'll make an attack roll to see if they hit on the way out. Nah. But all four of them are going to spread out and start attacking everyone in this room. They can't reach Milk because Milk is up a wall, but they can all step and each one's going to attack one of you.
If they want to
Well,
target
disadvantage on
Cal,
me.
they'd need to roll a wisdom saving throw first.
Right. Okay. Well, they are zombies and their wisdom is poo. So I'm going to roll that wisdom save first. Yep, that's a 6.
So they need to choose a different target.
I'll try and attack you as well then. Prosperous, that's a natural 20 and a 21 to
Yes,
hit you.
both of those will hit.
Cool. So that's 3d6 plus 4 and 6d6 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 8. 7, 9, 11, 13, 19, 27 plus 8 is 35 points of damage, quite a bit of which is necrotic, as these Antons sort of reach out and just sort of like bump into you, but they're not really held together, and they sort of leak this strange necrotic energy onto you as they go, and you can feel this horrific pain coursing through you. One is going to try and attack Anton.
It's got disadvantage.
I just rolled 2, don't worry. 12,
Cool.
19?
Fuck, that just is.
It's alright. It's not a very good damage roll though. 2, 6, 10 points of damage as one sort of leans over across you. And if you thought seeing Lorraine was bad, this is worse.
Yeah, this is creepy.
Nate, just a straight attack roll, I believe.
Yep.
That is 13 to hit you.
Nope.
Cool. One sort of shambles towards you and tries to hit you, but you dodge out of the way. Right. Oh. Milk. What would you like to do?
I really want to drag Lorraine back in here.
You can still
can
see.
I-
You can move around. You're less inhibited than anyone else. You can move around and still see Lorraine if you need to.
Yeah, but there's also the floating skull. I don't know. Is Lorraine a threat? I'm annoyed. No, I'm thinking out loud. I got a sense that the object that's in the middle of this room is really effing dangerous if you touch it.
Correct.
That probably doesn't apply to floating skulls, right? I don't. Because it's been in here 2,000 years.
You were told quite clearly that Kalwas can't touch it.
As in, they're not allowed to.
No, they can't. If they touch it, they will die. Like, touching it is death.
Okay, how close are they to it?
Relatively at this point, because they didn't want the others to get close and they were moving towards. I'd say within 10 feet. Yeah.
Then only 3 rolls.
Shove it.
And one of them, I could shove it in death. But on the other hand, I'd quite like to kill Lorraine. So
It's your call.
We decided not to kill Lorraine.
Or at least just deal with it. I don't like this running off into
Lorraine's
the
getting
distance.
further and further away every round, so if we don't sort out Lorraine soon,
Okay.
we may never find them.
Decision made. I will attempt to hold monster again on Lorraine, which is 90-foot range.
Yeah, I don't have another portent dice to use on this, so I have to just roll it.
You just have to roll as normal.
Correct.
Please get lower than a 17.
17.
Yes, thank you.
I have, what is it? Wisdom?
It is.
Cool, I have a +8 to wisdom checks. Wisdom saving throws, so
Fuck.
come on.
Mummies.
Would you like to tell me what you have bad at?
What's Anton bad at?
Charisma.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
I
not that
have
great at
rolled
wisdom.
a 19. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I am going to. I'm gonna run out of the room.
You run out of
Try
the
and
room.
keep Lorraine in sight and keep one eye back in the room.
You can keep Lorraine in sight, that is perfectly fine. I will allow that, no problem. Your eyes just move to the sides of your head.
My eyes around the side of my head.
Ultimately, where are they going to go? You know.
And I might just use Malinois if I
They've
could.
learnt teleport by now.
Because as a bonus action, I believe I can instruct them to make an attack. No, I'll send her in front of me if that's okay, using her action to
Malinois
dash.
is also following Lorraine.
Yeah, so I'm going to send her in front of me, so that would give her, I think, 60 if I use her action to dash.
Sure, so Malinois is catching up to Lorraine effectively because chase mechanics again, but because
That kind of idea.
they will go, yes, no problem. Right. It is Kelwas's turn. Kelwas is going to, seeing all of this happen and not quite sure what is going on, but furious at everything that is happening around himself, is going to, floating in the air, chant, and the air around him starts to thicken with this horrific, necrotic energy, which is going to reach out with strange tendrils moving through the jagged tears in reality that have been caused by this, and try and touch a few of you. But as these tendrils reach out, that's where we're going to have to draw to a close today, I'm afraid. Because the grand finale awaits us.
Fuck.
What's going to happen?
No, just do it now. Just do it now. Let's just do it now.
3 hours left to sort it all out.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
Well, hey, we
We
could
just
one
killed a
god.
Leviathan. We can deal with this.
Yeah.
My heart is pounding. It's legit, like, I can feel it in my chest.
Oh, the tension.
No,
it's not.
The
Time
delicious
just been disintegrated.
tension.
I just want to know why. I feel more
Part of me
betrayed
is
than
going-
Are you
anything.
sure
Yeah.
it's your heart?
Fine.
Niall, see if you don't have eyes when we're doing the next session.
You could just remove your eyes for the show.
We need to wrap up, everyone. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us for today. Once again, everyone, join us next week for the grand finale, where all will be revealed, hopefully. But yes, maybe find out a bit more about all of the different plans afoot and how these adventures can make their way through them. We play again next Monday, and that is the final game on a Monday that we do this year. So join us next Monday at the end of 2020 for the final episode of Sea of Swords Forsaken. And then the week after that is Christmas. And then I believe the week after that is the 4th of January, if my calendar lines up, where we'll be starting a brand new show. But more about that very soon. Cannot comment on it yet. Ixnay on the new show way. That was wrong. But anyway, there we go. If you enjoy this show, we also have another show that runs on Tuesdays, which is tomorrow. So from 7 till 10 GMT, that's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, you can watch Vile Shadows and a Honeyed Smile, DM'd by Justin Wells. And that's a lovely, very different flavour of campaign as some adventurers take on an illusionist, a dragon, and a bunch of undead. Very different theme, but check it out. That's on tomorrow, and the last one for that is also next week. We pause for Christmas, and there'll be another show in the Tuesday slot. Again, more announcements to come on that very, very soon. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/alltogetherrpg and are often hosted at twitch.tv/dnd. So do check us out in either location, and you can find all of our content, back archived content, on our YouTube channel, which there'll be a link in Twitch chat right now. And if you want to support us in what we do in a different way, we now have a Patreon. What? Yeah. You can become a patron. You can patronize us from, I think it's £1, which is $1.50. So yes, do come and patronize us. And the more patrons we have, the more tiers and rewards you will eventually unlock. But check that out at patreon.com/rolltogetherrpg as well. Massive thank you to Hero Forge for our lovely miniatures, as always. Ultra Pro, you have another couple of seconds to pop in the chat and say anything, literally anything at all, to get a chance to win a lovely little gazer for your desk at home. Massive thank you as well to D&D Beyond for a lovely overlay, Idle Champions for the code, hope you had a chance to use it, Zavi.com for their peripherals, and of course Level Up Dice, the link will be in chat again. If you fancy some table shakers of your own, the massive D10s or the lovely D20s, do pop into chat now. There'll be a link where you can go and buy yourself some nice dice for Christmas, and what's better than that? Join us on social media. We are Roll Together RPG basically everywhere, so do come along and say hi. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the rest of it. Lovely. I think that's it from us. See you all next week for the finale, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.